Live from Athletic Culture Stadium in Springwater Township, Baycats TV presents the Canadian Baseball League. And tonight, the Barrie Baycats get their first chance at revenge against the defending IBL champions. The Welland Jackfish are here for their first visit of the 2026 season. Hi again, everybody, and welcome. Julius Hern along with Ben Davy. Glad to have you along for tonight's broadcast. You know, there's absolutely nothing like a rematch of the championship series early the following season. The Welland Jackfish beat the Baycats in 5 games in the IBL championship series a year ago. And it looks like the Jackfish are going to be another powerhouse team again this year, Julius. They've outscored their opponents so far through their first 2 games, 23-2.
And a big reason they've gotten out to that quick 2-0 start is Robert Mullen. I was thinking back about a year ago today, or around this time last year, we were talking about how well Robert Mullen was, slugging the ball. He had a lot of power earlier on in the season, and he's got that right away again this year. 2 big home runs in their first 2 games has gotten up to a hot start.
Lots of positives for the Barrie Baycats in 2026, including pitching depth. And today, the Baycats will get their first look at home against new Dominican lefty Juan Mejia.
Yeah, Mejia, he had an outing on Friday night in London, a couple of innings, and really racked up the strikeouts, but he also got hit. 4 hits allowed in those 2 innings. So if he wants to stay in the starting rotation, as Josh Matlow's kind of penciled him in as so far, he really got to prove it tonight.
It's the Jackfish and the Baycats. Let's get you caught up on the starting lineups now. Here's our public address announcer, Rob Daniels.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Athletic Culture Stadium for tonight's Canadian Baseball League matchup between the visiting Welland Jackfish and your hometown Barrie Baycats. Hey fans, don't forget to stop by the Baycats merch booth tonight as part of our Red Out festivities. All red merchandise is 25% off all game long. So grab your Baycats gear, show your red, and make some noise. Here are tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting Welland Jackfish, managed by Brian Essery. Batting first, playing left field, number 6, Daike Abe. Batting second, the second baseman, number 4, Jonah Weisner. Batting third in right field, number 1, Justin Gideon. Batting fourth, the catcher, number 23, Robert Mullen. Batting fifth, playing third base, number 3, Bryce Arnold. Batting sixth at shortstop, number 20, Brendan Luther. Batting seventh, handling first base, number 15, Ethan Mann. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 21, Brandon Hupe. And batting ninth, the center fielder, number 11, Gio Morello. Pitching tonight for the Jackfish, number 27, Euclidus Layer. And now, the starting lineup for your Barrie Baycats, managed by Josh Matlow. Batting first, playing center field, number 7, Canis Ijo. Batting second, the shortstop, number 11, Brandon Hernandez. Batting third, in left field, number 95, Noel McGarry Doyle. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 27, Ryan Rio. Batting fifth, at second base, number 0, Francisco Hernandez. Batting sixth, handling first base, number 20, Nolan Macabroda. Batting seventh in right field, number 13, Edgar Figueroa. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 21, Wandy Cyprian. And batting ninth at third base, number 26, Adam Odd. Pitching tonight for your Baycats, number 43, Juan Mejia. Here are the umpires for tonight's contest. Handling home plate, Adam DeCare. First base, Ryan Herron. And at third base, Ryan Jackson. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able to and kindly remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you.
It is a red out at the park tonight. Our first red out of 2026, and the Baycats wearing the throwback Thursday reds again. And pretty good crowd here tonight for a Thursday evening. Those t-shirts might need some long sleeves underneath them, though, Julius. It is a cold night here at the ballpark.
You know, I go on the field and I talk to a lot of the players during batting practice.
To the fans down the left and right field lines, please.
Know them a bit more, and a lot of them came up to me, and a lot like many other teams so far this year that we've seen, they come up to me and say, "Why is it always so cold when we come up to Barrie?" And I can never really have an answer for them aside from saying that just wait till we get to July and it's going to be too hot.
That'll be a little more comfortable for the import players, especially, I think, in a few weeks. Game time temperature, 14 degrees. It feels a lot colder than that, though. We do have a little bit of a breeze coming in from right field. Frost advisory in effect tonight for the Barrie area. Hopefully that'll be long after this game ends, but an overnight low of 1 Celsius. And there are some that say we should start this season a little bit earlier. Fish and manager Brian Essery this evening. It's their new left fielder leading off, Daike Abe in the number 1 spot. Jonah Weisner returns. He's at second base and batting second. Justin Gideon, the veteran right fielder, batting third. Robert Mullen catching, hitting cleanup. Bryce Arnold, the third baseman, bats fifth. It's Brendan Luther in short, hitting in the number 6 spot. 7-8-9 is Ethan Ban at first. Brandon Hoope, the designated hitter, and Gio Morello in center field.
On the mound for the Barrie Baycats, making his first start of the season, it's Juan Mejia. And like I mentioned, he had some relief experience in the Baycats' first week of the season last week. But again, if he wants to stay in this Baycats rotation long term, as Josh Matlow kind of had those hopes for him when he brought him into Barrie this year, he really has to prove it against the defending champs.
Home plate umpire is Adam DeCare tonight. It's Ryan Hern handling duties at first, and Ryan Jackson down the line at third. Mejia winds, and the first pitch from the left-hander is a called strike at 7:39. Shadows across the field here at Athletic Kulture Stadium, and that one sliced down the left field line foul. Abe, a late addition from the Quebec Capitals, the Frontier League, contact hitter. Takes a pitch there, and the count is 1-2.
Really earned himself the leadoff spot in this Jackfish order early on this year, playing in the Quebec Major Leagues last year. He hit over 400, so a lot of expectation for him coming into the CBL.
Likes to get himself into deep counts just to try to get as much information as he can, especially against a pitcher he's never seen. And all of the Jackfish will be getting their first look at Juan Mejia here this evening. Here's the pitch. Lifted high to left field. Ranging to his right is Noel McGarry-Doyle for the first out of the inning.
Well, let's give it the defense here for the Barrie Baycats. Same defensive alignment aside from the pitcher as we saw on opening night here last week. Noel McGarry-Doyle in left field. Kenise Ejo in center. Edgar Figueroa is back in right field. Adam on at third. The Hernandez brothers, Brandon and Francisco, at short and second. Nolan Macabrota at first. And Wandy Cyprian back behind the plate for Juan Mejia.
Jonah Weisner for the Jackfish. Picked up a .349 batting average last year. Chops this one down the first base line, and it's backhanded but in foul territory. That's an 0-1 count.
Weisner always been a great average hitter. He can have some flashes of power, but the high averages have really been really consistent throughout his baseball career. Before he was with the Jackfish, the WCBL MVP, he hit over .340 in that league his MVP season.
Played all 42 games as well for Welland last season. That's durability and reliability, a huge factor in Welland's lineup a year ago. 1-1 the count. Mejia deals, and it's inside 2-1. Jackfish with 2 championship seasons in the last 3 years, and both of them coming against the Barrie Baycats. Baycats with their own championship season sandwiched between those 2 Welland titles. This one to third, and it's off the glove of Odd. Backed up by the shortstop, Brandon Hernandez. No chance. So the Jackfish get their first base runner of the game.
Well, this Jackfish team is always so speedy, so you never really, you have to play against a bunt almost all the time. That's what Adam Odd was doing there. He was kind of playing in on the grass, and Weisner hit a hot shot right at him. No chance for Odd there.
So it's a hard-hit infield single for Weisner, 1 aboard, 1 out, and here comes Justin Gideon. First pitch strike.
It's with this plate appearance here, Justin Gideon overtakes Mateo Porchelato for the Jackfish franchise record for games played.
Quite an accomplishment for the veteran outfielder as he swings at the 0-1, and it's fouled off.
And that includes the time in Burlington before the team moved to Welland, but it's crazy to think that Gideon's been in the league so long and had a lot of time, with Burlington, Hamilton, and now Welland, and he's still only 29 years old.
Well, they were so excited to have him as a Hamilton Cardinal for the few seasons he was there, and getting a warm welcome in his return to the Jackfish here.
Yeah, and the addition that the team is obviously very excited about, Brian Essery, the manager, having managed him before his time in the Frontier League, where he spent the last couple seasons.
Yeah, playoff MVP for the Quebec Capitals. A couple of championship rings there as well. This one gets away over near the on-deck circle, and up to second goes Jonah Weisner. So a wild pitch puts a runner in scoring position for Welland, and now an RBI opportunity for Gideon awaits. 2-2 the count. Mejia checks the runner, kicks and delivers. Checked his swing. Did he go? They appeal. He did not go, and the count is full.
Obviously, Wandy Cyprian very confident that Gideon had gone around there, but Ryan Jackson says no.
Great instincts by Cyprian applying the tag. You never want to wait to see in a situation like that. And an appeal play. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. 1 out. Weisner the lead at second. Here's the pitch from Mejia. Called strike 3. 2 down in the inning. And a clutch strikeout for the left-hander.
Very often you see those very close check swing calls kind of be turning points in the at-bat. But Juan Mejia doing a very nice job there of just staying cool, calm, and collected and picking up the strikeout.
Robert Mullen, the former London Major, back with the Jackfish here in 2026, led the team with 11 homers, 40 RBIs. Their championship season last year. First pitch is up in the zone, 1-0.
And a well-deserved playoff MVP nod for him last year. Think about how valuable he was in the series against Barrie in the finals, but also the way he was raking in the 2 rounds before that. Obviously, the big walk-off home run in the first round to send the Jackfish to the semis.
Mejia gets that one over for a called strike. Count even 1-1.
He's already got 2 home runs, as we mentioned earlier this season in the first week, so kind of picking up where he left off.
23 runs for the Jackfish in their first 2 games against Brantford and Guelph. Heck of a start for the Jackfish, and you know every season has its ebbs and flows and teams get hot and they get cold, but if you're a Jackfish fan, you really couldn't ask for anything more than you've seen in the first 2 games so far coming back on the field this year.
No, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to be rude in saying this, but they're kind of spoiled a little bit, the way that the offense has just been mashing, and you pair that with some great starting pitching, and Ben Abram and Teodoro Ortega the first week, it's been a dream start already after such a dream season last year.
2-1 pitch on the way, and it's hit through the right side into right field. They're going to send Wisner. Here comes the throw, and it doesn't even make it into the infield. There's the first run of the game for the Jackfish, an RBI single by Robert Mullen. It's 1-0 Welland. And
that ball got by Edgar Figueroa in right field, so there wasn't any shot of getting Wisner at the plate, but also not far enough for Mullen to challenge second base.
Well, one of the most important lessons in baseball is it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And the start for the Jackfish is nice, but we'll see how things unfold over the full regular season. The Baycats were a little cold out of the gate last year, but were able to kick things into high gear when needed and finished with a very strong second-place finish and getting all the way to the IBL Championship Series again for their 3rd straight year. So even these teams that are struggling a little bit out of the gate, plenty of time to turn things around. This one hit high to right field. And the catch is made by Edgar Figueroa in right, and that'll do it, but not before Welland gets on the board. It's 1-0 Jackfish on an RBI single by Robert Mullen as we head to the bottom of the first. You're watching Baycats TV on Rogers TV and YouTube.
Hi, I'm Christy Frantz from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
But don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
First inning of play is brought to you by Park Place, Barrie's Grand Slam destination for dining, shopping, and fun. See you after the game.
Ben Davy and Julius Hern here at Athletic Kulture Stadium, back for another season of Baycats baseball. Glad to have you along. How many years is this together for us now? It's
4.
It's our 4th year.
Fourth year.
Fantastic. Good to have you back here in 2026. Let's look at the Baycats lineup. For Josh Matlow, it's Canisijo in the leadoff spot. Brandon Hernandez batting second. Noel McGarry-Doyle in left field hitting third. Ryan Rio cleaning up and DHing. Francisco Hernandez at second, batting fifth. Nolan Macabrota in the sixth spot at first. 7-8-9 is Edgar Figueroa in right. Wandy Cyprian catching, and Adam Aude at third.
On the mound for the Jackfish is Euclides Lair, who last pitched in the league in the IBL finals last year, and it was a dominant performance on this mound. 8 innings in a 5-1 win in Game 4 of that series.
This has been pretty much the same starting 9 for manager Josh Matlow, top to bottom, through the 3 games so far. Clayton Keys getting some action in right field along with Edgar Figueroa in that spot, but a swing and a miss there by Ejo. So Matlow giving the Baycats a chance to sort of develop some consistency, some rhythm, just settle into their spots in the order here. A few changes from last year. Obviously the most notable one is Kenise Ejo, this man right here, back in the top of the lineup. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, off to a relatively slow start after he was really tearing it up in exhibition play, but it's going to come with time, and it's tough to not kind of be seeing dead red early on, especially early in the season. Both the hitters and the pitchers are starting to get acclimated to baseball again.
This one deep to left field. A long run, and it drops in front of Daike Abe in foul territory. Gave it a great chase. Looked like that might hang up long enough for him to get there. Not quite.
Well, it was a great swing by Ejo. It looked like he got most of it, but the ball just didn't get enough of the barrel and kept slicing further and further left. And Abe gonna give it a great run, but no shot. Talked about Layer's last performance here in the IBL finals last year. 8 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, struck out 9 on 1 walk. It was an absolutely dominant performance to bring the series back home with the Jackfish clinched.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He went back to the slider. And a strikeout to start the bottom of the first inning.
Let's give it the defense here for the Welland Jackfish. It's Daike Abe in left field, Gio Morello in center, Justin Gideon in right field. On the infield, Bryce Arnold. Talk about a bit more about him later. Brendan Luther at short, Jonah Weisner back at second. Ethan Mann, another newcomer, he's at first base. Robert Mullen behind the plate.
Brandon Hernandez for the Baycats. Steps up to the plate. 1-0 Welland on an RBI single by Robert Mullen, if you're just joining us. A rematch of the 2025 IBL Championship Series. The final IBL Championship Series, won by the Jackfish in 5 games. These teams looking to make history here in 2025 in this first year of the Canadian Baseball League. And a called strike.
Yeah, I know a big thing for this Baycats team is they want to be the first to be the first CBL champions. I think that would mean a lot to them and for this community as well.
So Layer working both sides of the plate here. Gets one on the inside portion, 1-2. Here's the pitch. To short. Great backhand play by Luther. The throw, it's high, and off the bag is Mann. Brandon Hernandez is aboard. That'll be an infield hit.
Great effort there from Brendan Luther, and great defender there at shortstop. You could argue he might have been able to earn a Gold Glove there last year, but that was a hot shot from Brandon Hernandez. A lot of his power, as I mentioned, comes from going the opposite way, and that's a key first base runner for Barrie.
So 1 on, 1 out, and here's Noel McGarry Doyle, the number 3 hitter. McGarry Doyle, 373 last season to lead the Baycats through 32 games.
You talk about Kenise Ejo coming back into this Baycats lineup. Noel McGarry Doyle is such a big compliment. In the top of the order is another guy that they were very lucky to have back after he was in camp with Quebec in the Frontier League.
Pitch is low and in. So it's a 3-0 count now as Layer falls behind. Or 2-0 count, excuse me. Ryan Rio is on deck. Here's the pitch. McGarry Doyle fouls it off at home plate. I know some fans were wondering, well, if this is a brand new league, is there a brand new championship trophy as well? And I understand that's not the case. It'll still be the Jack and Lynn Dominico Cup that has been awarded for the IBL playoff winner, championship winner, and that'll remain. To left center field. And a running catch made by Abe. The throw to first. And back safely is Brandon Hernandez. So nice catch by Abe and left. Gary Doyle retired. Here comes Ryan Rio.
Ryan Rio.
Ryan Rio back after just 8 games last season. Looking for a strong start here in 2026. He's ready to go.
A really nice opportunity here with the runner on. That's why you keep Ryan Rio in that cleanup spot.
First pitch swinging, and it's to second. And the out is recorded. And that's the third out of the inning. So the Baycats strand a runner, and we have played an inning here in Barrie. It's 1-0 for the Jackfish. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
The juice is the best way to add zing to your Jersey Mike sub. Real red wine vinegar and olive oil blend. And I like a lot of juice. Pour it on. Go ahead. Go on. I can take it.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. Silo Athletics, opening this July in South Barrie off Bryn, a premium indoor training facility for baseball and soccer, offering camps, team sessions, and high-energy birthday parties, built for athletes, teams, and families all year round.
We played an inning here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. It's a 1-0 Jackfish lead. Welland making their first visit to Barrie here in the 2026 season. And up to lead it off is Brendan Luther, the shortstop. Juan Mejia making his first appearance here at home, and the first pitch is a strike to Luther.
All IBL selection last year for Brendan Luther, and well deserved. He was a real key part of that Jackfish championship team up the middle.
Gets a piece and fouls it off. It's an 0-2 count.
He tried to catch the Baycats defense off guard there with a drag bunt attempt. And you see how far Adam Odd had to come in from where he was playing at third base.
Luther hit .368 a year ago. Mejia wastes one, and Luther does not chase. 1-2 the count.
I was also saying earlier when we saw him make that great stop at shortstop, I was surprised he wasn't a Gold Glove selection last year. And I'm actually surprised none of the Jackfish were selected for the top defensive team last year. Baycats had 4 selections.
1-2 pitch, swung on it, missed. Strike 3. Second strikeout of the game for Mejia. 1 out in the second.
First baseman number 15, Ethan Mann.
Ethan Mann, a new addition to the Jackfish here in 2026. The first baseman. We'll get his first look at Juan Mejia here. First pitch fastball, and it's outside.
Ethan Mann, like some of these new additions in this Jackfish team, very extensive resume, and very accomplished hitter, and he was in college.
Down the line, and that's a foul ball. Little skip and a dance by third base umpire Ryan Jackson to get out of the way of that one. right down the third base line.
And Brian Essery is going to come out to argue this, and I think he has a very good case. From my view, that ball looked like it was well fair. But when Ryan Jackson tried to jump out of the way, he spun around and had his back to the infield when that ball passed him.
Well, the explanation from umpire Adam DeCare, satisfactory for Brian Essery, and he heads back to the dugout. This is a deep roster and a power-laden lineup. And that certainly has been reflected in their first two games. 1-1 pitch down the first base side, and that one's well foul. So the count is now 1-2. Brandon Hoope on deck, Gio Morello to follow. One out in the inning. Mejia gets the sign, kick, steals, and that one's down in the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You see how far Adam Ott is playing towards that third base line now after that foul ball.
2-2. High and away, and the count is full. A little bit of cloud cover here in Springwater this evening. Not much, though, and the sun, which was beautiful all day, is now setting behind the trees down the first base side. And man draws a walk, so a one-out base runner for the Jackfish. Here's the number 8 hitter, Brandon Hoope.
Well, if you're the Baycats, the thing to be cautious about with this Jackfish team is Brian Essery and the Jackfish have always constructed a team that really loves to run. I'll be curious to see how far Ethan Mann comes off of first base with his lead, especially with a left-handed pitcher up. But that's what this bottom of the order likes to do for Welland. They like to kind of push the envelope a little bit.
Mejia takes a long time. Now he deals, swing and a miss.
What a late break on that breaking ball to start off this at bat.
Hoope really developed a reputation last year for key hits and clutch situations. Really electrified that crowd at Welland Stadium. Some big hits and big moments. Runner goes on the ground to short. They make the throw to first. So the hit and run is on. Mann advances. Hoope retired. And here's Gio Morello.
Center fielder number 11, Gio Morello.
And that's what we saw the Baycats do an awful lot of in 25, moving the runners and then giving the green light to the hitter at the plate, putting the ball in play with runners in motion.
Well, Welland's also another team like that the hit and run works very well, and not just the speed, but the hitting prowess of this lineup from 1 to 9. They're always able to make something happen.
Jackfish stole a lot of bases last season, primarily from 2 sources, Mateo Porcelato and Jonah Weisner, both of them with 26 steals. Three and 1, the count to Morello, the number 9 hitter. Big out for Mejia here if he can get it. 2 down in the inning. Lefty-lefty matchup. Mejia looks in. Cyprian with a sign, sets the target. A check on the runner, and he deals. Just missed.
Morello looking for his first hit of the season. 0 for 5 in the first couple games of the Jackfish in 2026.
Popped up foul. Count is 1 and 2. Morello, another one of these reliable players, day in, day out. 39 games for Welland last year, and an outstanding season, .333 average. You have to know it's just a matter of time before he gets that hot bat.
Well, having a guy like him in the number 9 spot, extremely valuable. We saw him a lot at the top of the order for Welland last year.
Here comes the crowd with a 1-2 pitch on the way, and it's fouled off again. A little extra energy in the crowd here tonight just to stay warm. Keep that blood circulating. Sometimes the fans here do the wave to stay cool on those hot Saturday afternoons. Well, they're clapping to stay warm here tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1-0 Jackfish. They're looking to add to it here in the second. Mejia to Morello. Fouled again. That one back to the screen.
Again, like I mentioned earlier, with a hit and run, a big example of this as well. But the way this Jackfish team able to put bat on ball, and like Morello's doing here, is keeping this at bat alive. And he's been at 1-2 for quite some time.
And that hit and run really eliminated the double play and created this opportunity for Morello here. Runner in scoring position. 2 strikes on him. Mejia delivers on the ground to second. Hernandez, short hop, makes the throw in time. Jackfish strand a runner on the top of the second. It's 1-0 Welland after an inning and a half here at Athletic Culture Stadium.
Join Team BKGC. Inside 17,000 square feet of dedicated gymnastic space, athletes of every age and level come together. Whether you're just starting out or building advanced skills, there's a place for you here. BKGC, building confidence, community, and champions since 1965. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp. See you this summer!
Yeah.
Second inning of play at Athletic Culture Stadium is brought to you by Silo Athletics, a next-level indoor facility for baseball and soccer featuring training programs, camps, and private events opening this July.
That's Julius Hern. I'm Ben Davy. We're in the bottom of the second inning here at Athletic Culture Stadium. Chilly night, down to 12 degrees now after a game time temperature of 14. Frost advisory. Imagine that. Frost will likely be on the field in just a matter of hours. To third, and it's through into left field. Base hit for Francisco Hernandez. Leadoff man aboard, and here's Nolan Macabrota.
First hit of the season there for Francisco Hernandez, and we're starting to kind of get some vibes of last year when he started the year off really slow in that leadoff spot, and then he kind of got moved around and started to pick it up. But sticking around in that number 5 spot here in game number 3, and at least early it's starting to work out for him.
You know, about 1 week before opening day, I took a look at the hood of my car, and there was a very light dusting of snow on the hood of my car. And then we had temperatures of, like, what, 35 with the Humidex for a couple of days, and now we're back down to frost advisories. Sky high and deep to left field. It will stay in the park, though. Boy, Macabrota sent that for a ride. Abe's there for the out, 1 down.
Macabrothers really showed off the opposite field power early on this year. That opening night home run against Toronto was to left center field, and really challenged another one there, just didn't get enough of it.
Looked like he was on the golf course with that. Yeah. Plenty of height, not enough distance. That ball just jumped off his bat effortlessly, it seemed. Wind is blowing slightly in from right. Not much of a breeze, though. Thank goodness. Runner goes. And it's deep to left field. And it's over Abe's head against the wall. Rounding second is Hernandez. He's into third. That's a stand-up double for Edgar Figueroa.
It's hard to say that Abe lost that ball in the sun because the sun's kind of gone underneath the bushes outside the stadium here, but obviously lost that ball somewhere on his run towards that left field corner because he spun around and just like that it was over his head. And he seemed to be surprised by it, but nice job for Figueroa there. Good piece of hitting, getting that the other way and as deep as it was.
Yeah, it landed nowhere near him at all, and my first thought was, well, maybe he gave up on it and thought it was a home run, and then the ball landed, and it was short of the outfield fence. Nowhere near him. He got over to it in a hurry once it dropped, but he was in no position to catch that ball. It's a little unusual when the sun sets here because it's not like the field is completely covered in shadows right away. So if you look, you can see mainly in right field, there's a few, bands of sun-covered field. And the infield is still partially sunlit. So you can get some tricky spots out there this time of the evening where the ball is in and out of the sun, but I don't think that was the case with Abe there. Inside part of the plate for a strike, and Cyprian didn't like that call. Generous strike zone tonight from Adam DeCare. He's been consistent both ways so far. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Cyprian down. That's a big strikeout, 2 away with 2 on. And the number 9 hitter, Adam Odd, comes to the plate.
It really is a big strikeout. You saw all the Jackfish infielders playing on the grass there, trying to cut down whatever run there might be potentially on a ground ball. But now they can kind of, not necessarily relax a bit, but they can kind of go back to regular depth. And now there's 2 out.
Notice he loves to go to that slider with 2 strikes, especially against righties. And that happened to Ejo, and he gets Cyprian with 2 strikes on the slider there as well. Odd first pitch swinging. Mile high. Is it playable? No. Behind the dugout.
Well, Layers, he's so crafty as a right-hander, but it's also that arm slot, coming in, maybe 2/3 down. It's a bit of a deceiving arm angle, especially from a right-handed pitcher.
It's an odd arm angle, but it looks very natural for him. And Odd drives this one deep to left center field, and the catch is made by Abe on the warning track. 3 deep fly balls to left field in that inning. And that one will end the second. The Baycats strand a pair. We've played 2, 1-0 Welland here at Athletic Culture Stadium in Springwater.
Jersey Mike's is sub above. Is it the premium meats and cheeses sliced on the spot and piled high on their in-store baked bread? Or could it be their hot, freshly grilled subs? How about all of the above? Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Join Team BKGC. Inside 17,000 square feet of dedicated gymnastic space, athletes of every age and level come together. Whether you're just starting out or building advanced skills, there's a place for you here. BKGC, building confidence, community, and champions since 1965. Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
The third inning of play is brought to you by
Barrie Baycats and the Welland Jackfish for the first time here in 2026, following last year's IBL Championship Series, which Jackfish took in 5 games. Baycats looking for a little revenge here early in the year, and they get that opportunity here tonight. Trailing by a run as we go to the top of the third. Back to the top of the order for Daike Abe. Juan Mejia out for his third inning of work. First pitch swinging is Abe, and he lifts that to left field for a base hit. So Abe is 1 for 2. And for the first time in the game, the Jackfish get a leadoff runner aboard.
Second baseman number 4.
Some really nice hits there from Abe going the other way. The first one was a deep fly ball to the left, and that one just a scorcher over the head of Brandon Hernandez at short. You mentioned his high average last year in the Quebec Major Leagues, over 400. And he was kind of out to prove that again in the CBL.
Jonah Weisner showing bunt, pulls it back, it's a strike. See if the Jackfish are thinking a little small ball early in this game here. Still just a 1-0 score. Early, though, in the third.
Well, Abe can run. I'm curious to see how Odd moves in at third base.
And he draws a throw. Canadian Baseball League with the same disengagement rules as Major League Baseball, so that's one consistency between the two leagues. No pitch clock on the pitchers. They have talked about implementing that at some point this season, but not yet.
This Jackfish team, they did their spring exhibition games in Ottawa against the Titans of the Frontier League, and because the Frontier League is a MLB partner league, they have all the same kind of ball tracking software in the stadium that a Major League ballpark would have. And Jonah Weisner was telling me a lot of the way they were kind of looking at their swings, on the tablets in the dugout and stuff like any other Major League team would do. And they said how valuable that was that early in the season.
2 disengagements for Mejia now, an 0-2 count. Let's see if Abe takes advantage of that. He does not. And Weisner taking, and the count is 1-2. Well, with all that technology and tablets in the dugout and everything like that, that's next level. And certainly that's, I think, the direction the CBL wants to go. Trying to keep this league as competitive and as professional as possible. Now the runner goes. Cyprian the throw down, not nearly in time. Ball gets away, goes into center field. So into second is Abe. The count is 2-2.
Well, Abe had way too good of a jump, especially knowing that Mejia had disengaged twice already. Really no shot for Cyprian, who has a great arm, to catch him at second base.
2-2 the count. Mejia's pitch, and that one's down. Cyprian looking the runner back. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, fouled away. Weisner got it started in the first inning, singled, advanced on a wild pitch, and come around to score on Robert Mullen's RBI single, the lone scoring of the game so far. Fans want to strike out here. 3-2, nobody out, runner at second. Mejia to the belt. Payoff pitch. And it glances off his bat, foul back to the screen.
It looked like Weisner was a little unsure there, not sure what he wanted to do kind of in the moment, but if you're able to get your bat on the ball and kind of poke it at a play like that, kind of gives you a reset.
Totally looked like his intention there was just sort of that half swing, just basically saying, I want to see something different. 3-2. Pitch on the way. On the ground to second. Hernandez, one play. Gets the out at first. Up to third goes Abe. And here comes Justin Gideon.
Weisner really doing his job well there, hitting it the other way. opposite of third base, allowing Abe to move up, and you'll see the Baycats defense now kind of come in on the infield turf.
Yeah, that's good hitting. You put the ball in play, you want to make sure it's in the right side of the infield to get that runner over, and that's exactly what Weisner was able to do there.
Kind of acts the same as a bunt, and any manager will tell you that's still a productive at-bat.
That's a smart move. Yeah, with nobody out, trading out for 90 feet of real estate any day.
And the way these two teams play, any one run is so valuable.
Well, we've seen the Jackfish do that successfully against the Baycats for the last few seasons now. They've been so good at getting early leads and just putting the Baycats in a situation where they have to be maybe a little more aggressive at the plate than they'd like to be. And that's led to some big wins for them, especially playoff wins. 1-1. And that hit him. Up high, just below the shoulder. Gideon tosses the bat away. Runners on the corners now for the Jackfish.
Could have been scary there for Justin Gideon. That pitch kind of coming in up and in on him and off his shoulder.
Definitely not what Mejia wanted to do, to face this man with 2 on. Robert Mullen. One of the most dangerous hitters in the Canadian Baseball League with runners on base, and a great opportunity for him here with only 1 out in the inning. Abe at third, Gideon at first, 1 out. Mejia in a jam here, trying to keep the score 1-0. First offering. A high pop-up. It's in the infield. Looks like it'll be Adam Odds. He's got it. 2 down.
You got to wonder there if Mullen was kind of sitting fastball on the first pitch, and it's hard not to be eager to take a swing, especially with a runner 90 feet away.
Mejia kept that pitch up in the zone too and was able to draw that pop-up. A very important out for him here in this 3rd inning. Now 2 away. Here's Bryce Arnold. Speed on the bases here with Abe at third and Gideon at first. I was wondering if we might see a double steal.
Well, Gideon taking a really nice lead despite the left-handed pitching.
Probably won't do it with 2 out, but you never know. This one to shallow center field. It drops in for a base hit. Abe will score. Jackfish lead 2-0.
Right there, he mentioned the speed of Justin Gideon. He goes first to third on that.
Number 20, Brendan Luther.
Yeah, ball wasn't even hit very deep, but Gideon didn't hesitate. One of the best base runners in the league. So Mejia will try to stop the bleeding here as he faces Brendan Luther now with 2 on, 2 out. Gideon at third, Arnold at first. Arnold takes the first pitch for a strike.
Starting to see a little bit of movement in the Baycats bullpen, but nothing immediately concerning for Juan Mejia here. It's still 2 outs.
Over the Barrie dugout and off a trash can. So Mejia 1 strike away from putting out the fire here in this 3rd and trying to keep the damage minimal. Macabrota holding on the runner Arnold. Close to the bag, the runner goes, and it's fouled off. Another green light with a man in motion.
Arnold really had that bag stolen. I doubt there even would have been a throw there from Cyprian.
Count holds 0-2. Arnold does not go, and time was called. I'm not sure who called it, because Luther didn't step out.
Well, they pointed at Brendan Luther, and he has that 1 foot out of the box. It looks like he was the one that called time. And That pitch was nearly out of the hand when Adam DeCare's hands went up.
No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. What a strikeout for Juan Mejia. The Jackfish strand 2, but they had a run. Though he played 2.5 innings. It's 2-0 Welland early on here at Athletic Culture Stadium. As we head to the bottom of the third. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
See you in the dark.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Third inning of play is brought to you by Render 3D Quick, the #1 architectural 3D rendering company in Canada, working with thousands of builders, developers, architects, and more.
Ben Davy and Julius Hern on a 12-degree night here at Athletic Culture Stadium. We are very much looking forward to our first Saturday afternoon, which hopefully will be this weekend, weather permitting, but it'd be nice to get some afternoon baseball here after a couple of chilly nights. The Toronto game wasn't too bad, but boy, tonight you can definitely feel the temperature drop.
The drop tonight much earlier than the home opener against the Maple Leafs.
Now, I said off air, and you pointed out that I said this a year ago, that we really could use a coffee maker, a Tassimo, just something up here in the broadcast booth for these games. It never happened last year. I guess it got warm quickly, and I didn't think about it after a few games, but you said that it was actually against Welland that I said that last year, and apparently the Jackfish announcers pointed out that they have a coffee maker in their broadcast booth, and we don't. We have a fridge, but we don't need that tonight.
Well, it's like there's a point for us where we're craving water eventually in the season more than we are coffee.
Yeah, the fridge would get used more than a coffee maker with the afternoon heat here, but boy, a coffee would feel good right now, or either that or a hot tub soak after the game. Maybe that's what we need.
Oh, yeah.
A jacuzzi tub here at the Imagine calling a game from a jacuzzi tub. That would be great, wouldn't it?
It's like calling the game from the pool out in Arizona at Chase Field.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a hot tub pool or just a regular pool, but either way,
I would imagine it's warm.
It's one beautiful way to enjoy baseball, I got to tell you. Swing and a miss. So that's the second time Kenise Ejo has gone down on strikes, swinging both times. Here comes Brandon Hernandez.
The shortstop, number 11, Brandon Hernandez.
It's the Junior Baycats night here at Athletic Culture Stadium, and our Junior Baycat announcer giving Rob Daniels an inning off. Baycats looking to get something going here for our Junior Baycat announcer. Let's see if they can stretch this inning out for him.
Well, you'll ask a lot of the guys that have been in Barrie quite a long time, like Ryan Rio, and they're always, disappointed that sometimes, they don't give the Junior Baycat enough batters to call up. It seems like a lot of the times the offense falls flat.
There's a high, deep fly ball, right center field. It will stay up, and the catch is made by Justin Gideon. Looked good off the bat of Hernandez. just not quite enough. We've had a few fly balls deep to left field. That's the first one to right field that really went a long way, but no wind assisting that one tonight.
Well, so the cold weather doesn't make it any better either. Those balls tend to travel better in the warmer weather.
This has never really been a home run hitter's ballpark, to be honest with you. The ball does travel a little more in the summertime heat, as you mentioned, but here's the pitch, and it's a strike. The wind rarely blows out in this park. Usually it's coming in from the northwest, and that keeps the ball in and slightly pushed from right to left. Swing and a miss by Noel McGarry-Doyle.
McGarry Doyle just under that, or just over that baseball there, and that pitch from Lair.
No balls, 2 strikes. Lair working quickly here, looking for his first 3-up, 3-down inning. And taking is McGarry-Doyle. Good patience. 1-2. Ryan Rio wants an at-bat this inning. Here's the pitch. Inside, and the count is even.
You can tell that Lair feels himself that he's on a roll. He just really quickened up the pace here in this 3rd inning.
Hits this one high and deep. Left center field. And it is off the wall. Down near the base of the fence. Firing it in is Morello. It's a double for Noel McGarry-Doyle. Pretty deep part of the park there in left center field.
Put a great swing on it. That ball just kept slicing into that left center field gap, and you can tell just by the reaction of the fans in the dugout here that ball really started to put some life into this ballpark. After 2 quick outs, McGarry-Doyle really trying to turn the tide here for this Baycats offense.
Ryan Rio now. Inside. Rio rocking the candy cane socks tonight. The pink and red stripe. I guess that's what you'd call that.
Yeah.
One ball, 1 strike. McGarry-Doyle at second. Baycats looking to get on the board, and it's hit weakly to first. Fair ball. Man steps on the bag. Baycats strand a runner. 3 innings in the books here in Barrie. It's 2-0 lead for the Welland Jackfish on Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
Silo Athletics, opening this July in South Barrie off Bryn, a premium indoor training facility for baseball and soccer, offering camps, team sessions, and high-energy birthday parties, built for athletes, teams, and families all year round.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
The juice is the best way to add zing to your Jersey Mike sub. Real red wine vinegar and olive oil blend. And I like a lot of juice. Pour it on. Go ahead. Go on. I can take it.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
with a 1-year maturity. Learn more
Ben Davy and Julius Hern, Athletic Culture Stadium. Baycats trailing by 2. Welland Jackfish will bat here in the 4th. Bottom third of the order. Ethan Mann, Brandon Hupe, and Gio Morello. Jackfish with 2 runs on 3 hits. Baycats 0 on 4. Here's the pitch. That's down to the zone. Juan Mejia out for his 4th inning of work. First appearance here at home, 2nd of the season for the Dominican left-hander. 28 years old, stands 5'9", 160. Just misses off the plate there, 2-1.
It's crazy to think just as recent as 3 years ago, he was a AAA pitcher in the Texas Rangers organization.
Hit to center field. Canisijo with the catch. Straight away, 1 out. Brandon Hupe comes to the plate for the 2nd time. 0 for 1 with a ground out.
Number 21, Brandon Hupe.
Mejia outside with the first pitch to Hupe. Swing and a miss on a hard fastball.
It looked like Hupe was expecting a breaking ball there, or at least an off-speed pitch, because he was well ahead of that fastball.
One pitch. Foul back to the screen. And Mejia is ahead 1-2. Baycats team ERA last year, middle of the pack, 4th best in the IBL, 4.49. There's some extra arms on the pitching staff this year as they look to add some depth to the rotation and the bullpen. Goes off speed there and misses 2-2.
A lot of left-handers. I think that was big for Josh Matlow, trying to set up what he hopes will be the rotation for throughout this season. Mejia being a big part of that early on, at least.
Fans saw another Dominican left-hander here a week ago. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, 2 down. 4th strikeout for Mejia. So it was Frank Garces here for the season opener. Saul Vasquez in their 2nd game on the road.
Number 11,
Juan Benitez worked some relief in that game, and Mejia getting his first start here tonight at home.
Yeah, Benitez expected to start on Saturday here against the Kitchener Panthers.
Workhorse Cesar Rosado not back with the club here in 2026, so it'll create some opportunities for some of these import players. 1-0 the count to Gio Morello. He's 0 for 1 tonight.
Yeah, everything coming from the top of the order so far for Welland through the first couple times up. To this point, the last 4 in the order have only managed to walk.
1-0 pitch. On the ground, Macabrota gloves it low and wins the foot race to the bag. That is the first 3-up, 3-down inning for Juan Mejia tonight. Morello retired, and the Jackfish go down 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-0 Welland here in Barrie.
I'll take this opportunity to use the map.
Join Team BKGC. Inside 17,000 square feet of dedicated gymnastic space, athletes of every age and level come together. Whether you're just starting out or building advanced skills, there's a place for you here. BKGC, building confidence, community, and champions since 1965. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
See you this summer.
Bottom of the fourth inning here at Springwater Township's Athletic Culture Stadium. Francisco Hernandez steps up to the plate. Our fourth inning is brought to you by Liahona Mortgage Investment Corp., delivering targeted investment returns of 6 to 8% with a one-year maturity. Learn more at liahonamic.ca. Francisco Hernandez had a leadoff single in the bottom of the second inning. Count is 2-0 to him here. Clitty's Lair, the right-hander. 3 shutout innings for the Jackfish to start this one. Here's the pitch, and it's high and foul. 2-1 to Hernandez.
When you think back to the IBL finals last year, aside from Game 5, all 4 were close. And the Baycats only win that series off the bat of this man, a walk-off homer in Game 3.
And Game 5 started close the first few innings. Hayden Jaco was the starting pitcher in that game. The Baycats just really ran out of arms, and Jaco's a guy who can pitch. He's a very good pitcher, but hadn't pitched really at all, I don't think, that season. And tough situation where things just really unraveled in the middle innings of that do-or-die Game 5. Hernandez down on strikes, 1 out. Here's Nolan Macabrota. A tough end of the playoff run for the Baycats last year. A little bit of fuel for the fire here in 2026.
Well, if you're Welland, you also have to be confident that your top 3 starting pitchers are all back this year. And by all accounts, if you watch the first couple games of their season, already in top form, especially Ben Abram, who, after talking to team's coaches and manager Brian Essery, they're so impressed with the way that he's begun his season. He's already kind of in mid-season form, they say.
Yeah, when you see Welland on the schedule, you kind of feel like you're playing the LA Dodgers, don't you?
Yeah.
You're not going to get any easy breaks. And you're going to play a team that's stacked pretty solid top to bottom. 2 balls and a strike. Macabrota 0 for 1. Pitch to Big Mac, and he swings and hits it to the pitcher. It goes off of Lair's glove, the throw, and it gets away. Macabrota will take the extra 90 feet, and he's in with a slide.
Might be 2 errors on that play. As Lair was almost kind of watching it into his glove, but you get kind of into that mentality where you're kind of throwing it to first before you had the ball in your glove. And tough play for Wisner. He was trying to rush that play because he had a shot at Macabrota, but obviously an errant throw. It could be 2 errors on that play.
Had a long way to come off the mound, but he had time. And you're right, I'm not sure if he just took his eye off the ball and looked at the runner instead of the ball, but just a miscue, and the Baycats will try to make it a costly one here. They have 1 error on the board here for Welland, and that would be I'm sure on the pitcher.
No, that would be on Wisner if it's only 1, because his throw allowed him to get to second base.
still have just 4 hits on the scoreboard for Barrie here, so we'll get this sorted out. Figueroa hit a double in the second inning. Macabrota at second, 1 out. We're in the 4th. Pitch from Layer incoming. Gets the strike, 2-2.
Baycats stranded 2 in scoring position back in the second inning. One of those was Edgar Figueroa after his double.
Fouled off. Under the shoe of first base coach Jeremy Allenbrook. Andrew White at third again this season in 2026. Count is 2-2. Figueroa waits for the pitch. Here it comes. It's inside. And it's a full count. Right-handed hitting Wandy Cyprian on deck. A lot of lefty-righty sort of alternating in the Baycat lineup here. Fouled off.
Well, I think it's set up that way by manager Josh Matlow too, and to think there are a lot of guys on this Baycats bench, that could platoon in certain situations. Look at a guy like Noah Hall or Clayton Keys. A lot of variance in the reserves in this Baycats roster.
Time is called. Figueroa uses his timeout. Takes a deep breath. Big pitch coming up here, and he knows it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second. Baycats trying to get on the board. Down 2-0. Here's the pitch. Draws the walk.
Really bold take there from Figueroa. You could tell, looking at Layer, he really wanted that pitch and almost thought he had it.
Catcher Wandy Cyprian now. Rookie Baycat in his debut season here in the CBL. First pitch strike. Third time in the game, the Baycats have had a runner as far as second. They had Francisco Hernandez at third in the second inning. No balls and 2 strikes. Layer's pitch, and it's popped up. And it's off the bench's foul. Now, everybody got out of the way of that ball, but that would have been an easy catch for a fan who was sitting there.
Talking about the base runners, Ben, you look back to the first inning, the Baycats, when they were up, and Brandon Hernandez was on first and likely would have gotten into scoring position had the ground ball Ryan Rio hit not hit him.
Another pop-up. Same spot, other side. That one actually a little bit more behind home plate.
So just a little bit of luck taking the Baycats away from saying they've had runners scoring position each inning, but again, they've yet to cash in.
They've had their chances still early in this game. Swing and a foul into the glove for the third strike.
Third baseman number 26, Adam Odd.
5 strikeouts for Euclides Lair. Adam Odd, the number 9 hitter. Adam Odd, not your typical number 9 hitter, but that seems to be the spot where he's in the order these days. Has power. Another pop-up. This one playable down the line. And the catch is made by Abe. And that will do it. Baycats strand another runner in scoring position. 4 innings in the books. Julius up to the mic to call innings 5 and 6 when we return. It's 2-0 Jackfish here at Athletic Culture Stadium in Springwater.
Silo Athletics, opening this July in South Barrie off Bryn, a premium indoor training facility for baseball and soccer, offering camps, team sessions, and high-energy birthday parties, built for athletes, teams, and families all year round.
Jersey Mike's is sub above. Is it the premium meats and cheeses, sliced on the spot and piled high on their in-store baked bread? Or could it be their hot, freshly grilled subs? How about all of the above? Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Top of the fifth inning at Athletic Culture Stadium. It's 2-0 for the defending champion Welland Jackfish over the Barrie Baycats. Julius Hern along with Ben Davy. Yet again, the third time Daike Abe will lead off for the Jackfish. And it's been him and Brendan Luther, the only two to lead off an inning for Welland. And it's been the same on the Barrie side of the scorebook as well. There's a weak grounder down the first base side. It'll roll foul. For Welland, it's either been Abe, first and third, and now the fifth. Juan Mejia still out for inning number 5. That one a little up and in on Abe. Mejia looks in, delivers a 1-1. Foul away again, out of play, this time on the left side. Abe, Wisner, and Gideon due up here in the 5th. Barrie has threatened but yet to cash in. That one nearly hit Abe, spins out of the way. No throwing activity yet in the Baycats bullpen. Not sure what the limit is here on Juan Mejia. Obviously, a lot of these import pitchers still getting stretched out early in the spring. Swing and a miss from Abe. He goes down swinging for out number 1. Strikeout number 5 for Juan Mejia through 4 1/3. You can tell that Abe wanted that one back. A high fastball from the Dominican lefty, and now Jonah Wisner will step in. A lot of those fun activations down the right side of Athletic Culture Stadium here behind the Baycats dugout. First pitch from Mejia is that one's in there, top of the zone for a strike. Saw those red t-shirts being handed out for some of the first fans of the ballpark today for the first red-out game of the 2026 season. There's a ground ball to first and a high hop for Nova Macabroda. No problem for the Gold Glover, who makes the out at first, 2 gone. I'll bring up Justin Gideon. Jackfish went 1-2-3 back in the 4th, and Mejia would love to repeat that feat here in the 5th. First pitch to Gideon is a little tapper than the left side, but it's going to be picked up foul by Odd.
Thanks for arriving, man.
Looks like that ball just kind of died in that right-hand batter's box dirt that's been kicked up by a lot of the batters this evening. There's been a lot of discussion, Ben, this year about Justin Gideon coming back to the league and whether he can surpass his 19 home runs he had in a single season in 2022. It's kind of been the mark to beat for a lot of these, big name newcomers or, guy that you welcome back like Justin Gideon.
Well, a long list of accomplishments in both the IBL and the Frontier League in Quebec. A valuable player, this Jackfish lineup, and really your prototypical multi-tool player who can really get it done. Speed, defense, brings an awful lot to this Welland Jackfish club.
He's facing a 1-2 count here against Juan Mejia. The lefty deals. That one's upstairs.
Just a pure ball player. A fastball from Mejia. You can see the dirt coming out of Cyprian's glove. Looked like smoke. A little extra zip on that pitch.
2-2. There's a deep drive into center field. Kinesijo has to go back, but he'll stay in the ballpark and he'll make the catch just before the warning track. Gideon gives it a ride, but the Jackfish go 1-2-3 yet again. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Still 2-0 Welland here on Baycats TV.
Hey fans,
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
With Julius Hern, I'm Ben Davy. We're back live at Athletic Kulture Stadium in Springwater Township. Baycats trailing 2-0. This fifth inning is brought to you by One-Eyed Jack Barrie. Bring your same-day Baycats tickets before or after the game and get 10% off your bill.
Bottom of the fifth inning. Jackfish a 2-0 lead over Barrie, and it'll be the third time Kinesijo will lead off an inning in this ball game. He faces Euclides Layers in for inning number 5. His first pitch is just outside.
I have some great news, Julius. Young Taylor, who is one of our MVVs, most valuable volunteers, is, I think, bringing us a couple of coffees very soon. So I saw him filling up the water thing, and he asked me, he said, Ben, how do you take your coffee?
I think he's on the way.
And I said, I take it black, but I said, you got to bring one for Julius, too. And look at this, right as we're talking about him. Thank you, sir. Did you get Julius one? What do you take?
Double, please.
Double for Julius, black for me. That's perfect.
I'm very appreciative.
Thank you, my friend. I wish I had some cash. I would give him a nice little tip for this. My goodness, that came at the right time. Now you're going to have to smell this while I'm drinking it.
Eja lifts a 2-1 out of play. It's 2-2.
That's good.
Yeah, that's going to hit different, especially in this chilly weather.
You have no idea. The next best thing to a jacuzzi tub on a night like this.
Pitch from Lair, swing and a miss by Ejo. Third time he's gone down swinging tonight. That's the 6th K on the board for Euclides Lair.
It looks to me like both of these pitchers are really finding their rhythm here in the middle innings. Commented off air that Mejia is looking stronger and stronger as the game goes on. He's retired 7 in a row. Lair with a little bit of a jam in the 4th, but he pitched out of it.
This is Brandon Hernandez, who lifts that one out of play the other way. Hernandez singled in the 1st, but then was called out on runner's interference. A ground ball hit him as he was on his way to second base, and then flew out to right field.
Ejo, it's just going to be a matter of time for him just to kind of get things sorted out. But another tough night so far, 3 strikeouts. And, we know and we have seen what he is capable of at the plate. And certainly no questions regarding his speed and his defense.
Well, you know that when it's Lair's time to cede to the bullpen, that'll be a welcome sight for Ejo. And that's, usually when a hitter is struggling a lot against one particular pitcher, it's like very much a reset when you see a new arm in the ballgame. That one just catches the lower edge of the zone. It's 2-2 against Hernandez.
70th pitch for Lair. He looks like he's got lots left in the tank.
Juan Mejia had 80 pitches as well. 2-2, fouled away. Noel McGarry Doyle on deck. Both teams still just 4 hits. Another 2-2, swing and a miss. Brandon Hernandez goes down swinging, back-to-back Ks here in the 5th for Lair.
4 straight outs for Lair, 3 of them strikeouts. 7 strikeouts in the game now. And it just looks like the Baycats' frustration really starting to settle in now as they just can't seem to get anything going here against the right-hander.
And that was the case on Friday in London as well, facing Victor Payano of the majors. Really couldn't get anything going until the 7th inning, but a losing effort for Barrie as McGarry Doyle takes the first pitch strike. Another one just catches the zone. It's 0-2.
So valuable to have these pitchers where you don't have to think about taking them out of the game early if they're pitching well. You see a lot of in Major League Baseball now, especially players who are pitchers that there's always that concern 3rd time through the order. You don't want to give the lineup another look at them. And, you get a guy like Euclides Lair out there who, can really go deep in ball games. And the Baycats have those pitchers too. Really saves those bullpen arms.
And that's going to be really valuable. Now with more games on the schedule, you're going to start to see more games really condensed into, the end of 1 week. Like there are some times on the schedule here for Barrie specifically where they have, 4 games in 4 days. And I'm sure that's the case around the league as well. On the ground, a chopper towards second. Weisner makes the play, and a bang-bang play at first base. Gary Doyle hustled but called out. Another 1-2-3 inning, that one for Lair. Still 2-0 Welland as we go to the 6th inning here on Baycats TV.
Silo Athletics, opening this July in South Barrie off Bryn, a premium indoor training facility for baseball and soccer, offering camps, team sessions, and high-energy birthday parties, built for athletes, teams, and families all year round.
Thinking about doing a renovation but Don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
The juice is the best way to add zing to your Jersey Mike sub. Real red wine vinegar and olive oil blend. And I like a lot of juice. Pour it on. Go ahead. Go on. I can take it.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
Top of the 6th inning, Baycats trail the Welland Jackfish 2-0 in the first finals rematch from last year, and this one coming early in the year, as we mentioned.
At bat for the Jackfish, capture number 23, Robert Mullen.
Robert Mullen to lead it off against Juan Mejia, who's back out for inning number 6. He's at 80 pitches so far, and I believe Oscar Moreta is warming up in the bullpen, so we'll see how long the chain is here on Juan Mejia, making his first start of the season. First pitch, a breaking ball in there for a strike.
Well, Josh Matlow, a manager who will not hesitate to squeeze as much juice out of the arm as he can, and Mejia now has retired 7 in a row, looking really good out there on the mound.
That one in the dirt.
You certainly don't want to give the Jackfish any opportunities to add to this lead. Still anybody's ball game, and first sign of trouble, I'm sure the bullpen will be activated.
That one up and in on Mullen, so it's 1-2. Excuse me, 2-1. Pitch for Mejia, that's a grounder to second, a one hop to Francisco Hernandez, who makes the out at first, one gone.
That's what Mejia wants, quick outs. Keep the Jackfish quiet.
Third baseman, number 3.
This is really shaping up to be a textbook Jackfish Baycats game. We've mentioned it already, but we've seen this so much in the past. Welland getting a early, small lead, and the Baycats just running into all kinds of frustrations trying to get themselves on top on the score.
This is Bryce Arnold. And check down to first, no swing call, so 1-0. Arnold, a big addition to this Jackfish lineup, and a guy with, as I mentioned, a very extensive baseball resume. Reached AAA in the Toronto Blue Jays organization just 2 years ago and was in spring training this year with the Cleveland Guardians. Pops that one up. Back of first base, it's going to be Francisco Hernandez to make the catch. Like you mentioned, Ben, 2 quick outs for Juan Mejia.
Hernandez was in just maybe a little half a step further than he thought he needed to be, and had the catch, made it cleanly, but that ball just sort of sitting in his glove there. Had to make sure he got the squeeze on it so it didn't squirt loose. But boy, you talk about Bryce Arnold and an experience like that and just getting so close to the big league level, and have to wonder what that all felt like for him to just be able to get so close to the dream of playing in the show.
First pitch to Brendan Luther, called a strike. Yeah, I had a chance to catch up with him before the game, and didn't elaborate much on. I didn't ask him much about this time with the Blue Jays. Just more about his journey and he signed with Winnipeg of the American Association, and the Guardians picked up his contract from the Goldeyes, and spent a couple games in spring training this year. He told me he actually he liked the Arizona league, the Cactus League, more than he liked the Grapefruit League in Florida. And aside from the Blue Jays complex being a bit more modern and extensive. He said it was still mostly the same experience for him between the two different organizations. One, two. Luther takes that one up high.
I got a chance to go to some Cactus League games many years ago in Arizona, and it was great. We got a hotel in Phoenix, and all of the Cactus League ballparks in spring training are within about 30 minutes or so of downtown Phoenix. So
2-2, a line drive into left field, a base hit for Luther. He might try for extra bases here. Makes the turn, but he's going to stick around at first base. Throw comes in the second, so 2-out base knock for the Jackfish shortstop.
Nice piece of hitting there by Luther, especially with 2 strikes. Keep this inning going, and that breaks off the streak of retired hitters for Mejia at 9. 9 straight, so he went through the entire order once without allowing a base runner. That's some good pitching.
2 out here is Ethan Mann. Another new addition to this Jackfish squad. First pitch to him is inside.
The nice thing about the Cactus League games that I went to at the hotel that we were staying at is that they had printed schedules every morning at the hotel desk. So when you went downstairs, you could look at the games for that day and just pretty much decide on the spot who do we want to see. It's like, your choice of about 8 or 10 different games you could go to. And
Arnold was telling me the team hotel was across the street from the facility, so it was very easy to get into the cage or something, just take some swings. Big swing there from Mann.
Yeah, the hotels there really cater to fans. They know. I'm sure it's the same in Florida, but they know that fans are coming down to watch baseball, and there's your coffee.
Ooh, coffee, thank you so much.
Yeah, they had little bags of peanuts. They had printed schedules. The lobby was all decorated with baseball stuff, and it's a really big thing. Fans come down, and they really enjoy the whole experience.
Throw over to first there to check on Luther. And Arnold said after spring training, it was just a matter of not having enough roster spots in Double-A. He got assigned to Akron, the Rubber Ducks, and not enough space for him, so he got released. There's a fly ball into left center field. Coming over is Kanisijo to make the catch, and that'll be out number 3. The Jackfish will leave a base runner. Baycats trying to get back into this one. They're scoreless, but only down 2. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning here on Baycats TV.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Join Team BKGC. Inside 17,000 square feet of dedicated gymnastic space, athletes of every age and level come together. Whether you're just starting out or building advanced skills, there's a place for you here. BKGC, building confidence, community, and champions since 1965. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Ben Davy and Julius Hern here at Athletic Culture Stadium in Barrie. Bottom of the 6th inning. It's brought to you by Pure and Simple, the better breakfast brand. Located at 521 Bayfield Street, just minutes from the stadium. Well, Jackfish going to the bullpen with Miles Martinez and started to take his warm-up tosses, and now a bit of a delay as he gets a quick look over here.
Yeah, we saw Miles Martinez. His first pitch went back to the backstop in his warm-ups. And then, a few pitches later, he comes off the mound. It looks like he might have tweaked something in his arm. And Brian Essery calling for another pitcher to come in this game. Looks like Danny Howitt's going to come into this game, I believe. But what looked to be maybe the first outing of the year for Miles Martinez, an import pitcher for this Jackfish team, not meant to be, it looks like. And hopefully we can get an update on his status momentarily.
Well, we were talking off air how this just feels like such a textbook Baycats Jackfish game, and lots of low, close scores in the playoffs over the last few years. Barrie down here 2-0, and lots of frustration against Euclides Layer. Probably happy to get a different look, a different arm out there, and a big left-hander out there now to pitch for Welland.
So this is going to be Danny Howitt as part of the championship team last year. Couple outings in the finals, but really a depth piece to this Jackfish bullpen. And he's probably going to get as much time as he needs to warm up here, and it's kind of short notice after the sudden, I want to say injury to Miles Martinez, but we're not quite sure. Hopefully we can get an update shortly. But especially with how cold it is right now at the ballpark, looks to be 6 degrees here in Springwater Township right now, so that obviously not helping anyone trying to get warm on the mound this evening.
Howitt, 24 innings last year, a 1.82 earned run average, struck out 24, walked 6. So if you're Barrie, I'm not sure this is the guy you wanted to face. Ryan Rio will lead it off here once Howitt is ready, and I'm sure he'll get as many tosses as he needs. They're out there to check and see if he's ready or not. Looks like he'll take a couple more.
Well, he seemed to be kind of the next man up because Essery brought in the left-hander Martinez, and I think luckily for him and the interest of having a left-hander come up to face Rio first, how it was available. He's got, looks like one more warm-up pitch before we'll see the at-bat.
Both these teams off tomorrow. Baycats get Kitchener here Saturday, 4 o'clock. It'll be our first afternoon game of 2026 at Athletic Culture Stadium. Jackfish off tomorrow as well. They host Toronto Saturday night at home, 6:05. And here comes Ryan Rio.
Hitter number 27, Ryan Rio.
So Rio will step in to face Howitt. First outing of the season for Howitt, former Brantford Red Sox. Let's see how he fares coming in cold against Rio. First pitch is outside.
How's your coffee? Is it still warm?
Let's see.
Mine cooled off way too quick.
It's still warm, luckily. The 1-0 is up high. And I think at this point you're waiting for Howitt to throw a strike, knowing the situation the Jackfish are in on the mound. 2-0. There's a fly ball, not very deep, but a mile high. It's going to stay on the infield, and Bryce Arnold will make the catch at third base.
Arnold needed to be careful right on the lip of the grass there just to make sure he didn't lose his footing on that easy pop-up, but an important first out here for Howitt and the Jackfish to get Ryan Rio.
Hernandez a single and a strikeout earlier today. Takes a first pitch strike. Nolan Macabroda on deck. Howe's delivery, and Hernandez puts down a bunt. Howe's going to make a play. The throw to first is just in time to get Hernandez. Howard having to get that out of his hand quickly.
Had a feeling we might see a bunt at some point. That's something the Baycats have done in games where they're struggling to get base runners, struggling to get scoring opportunities. Sometimes just laying down a weak one in front of the plate is what you got to do to get some guys on. Unfortunately for Hernandez, just a little too much on that. You want to kind of deaden that ball a little bit more, make the pitcher work a little bit harder to get off the mound and get to that baseball. Good speed by Hernandez, but Howitt was able to field it and throw it cleanly.
So Nolan Macabroda will step in with 2 outs. First pitch from the lefty Howard is up high. Another lefty-lefty matchup, and you mentioned earlier with Josh Matlow setting his lineup kind of alternating left and right. But Figueroa on deck is a lefty. Should Macabroda get on, he fouls that one back to the screen.
It seems like most of these big bats are coming up without base runners on, and that's not what you want in the Baycat lineup either. Facing Rio with the bases empty, Macabroda with the bases empty. You want to give these guys RBI opportunities. Baycats had a couple base runners in the 4th, but nothing since. And they don't seem to be getting the big bats up with the runners on tonight.
Foul tip into the gloves for strike 2. Yeah, none of the, well, it doesn't help when you have your leadoff hitter and Ejo having to lead off today 3 times. So not setting up the top of the order for success, as that one's low and away.
I mean, the great thing with this lineup is that you do have options. So if maybe moving Noel McGarry-Doyle into the leadoff spot for a game or two just to see what happens, give Ejo a bit of a different look in a different spot of the order. That might happen at some point. We'll see.
That one way too high for Macabroda.
I mean, the plan certainly is to keep him at the top of the order, but, at some point as the season goes on, changes need to be made.
Josh Matlow not afraid to make those changes. That's a 3-2, 2 out. Here's Howard's pitch. Fouled away by Macabroda. Impressive here for Howard, the way he's been able to come out here in the 6th inning, almost on really short notice.
He got ready quick too. I thought he'd maybe take a little more time.
3-2, swing and a miss. A statement strikeout from Danny Howard comes into this inning cold and retires the Baycats in order. We go to the 7th inning, still 2-0 Welland. Ben Davy back on the mic to call this one for you on Baycats TV.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. At Park Place, the latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
What makes Jersey Mike's a sub above? Is it the premium meats and cheeses, sliced on the spot and piled high on their in-store baked bread? Or could it be their hot, freshly grilled subs? How about all of the above? Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
See you this summer.
Ben Davy, Julius Hern at Athletic Kulture Stadium. Baycats with some work to do, trailing 2-0. Jackfish look to add to it here. And they will face Brady Encarnacion. Will make his 2nd appearance of the season.
Yeah, he's been really impressive so far in early this season. coming out of the Baycats bullpen and really been racking up the strikeouts, especially in the exhibition play. But, he's really kind of started to cement himself as maybe a setup man, a 7th, 8th inning guy in this Baycats bullpen ahead of Carlos Sano, who was great as a closing option last year.
We talked a lot about the depth that has been added to the Baycats pitching here in 2026, and I think the one aspect of the pitching staff I'm most interested in seeing is the middle relief. And adding Brady Encarnacion alongside Braden Pakala, the left-hander, gives you that lefty-righty combo coming out of the bullpen. Those all-important middle innings. Baycats struggled at times last year just finding reliable arms to eat up those middle innings and get the ball to the closer. Carlos Sano, an outstanding season last year.
This is James Smybert pinch hitting here against Encarnacion. He pops that one out of play.
I guess I'm doing this. I totally forgot it's my inning to call. We're at the top of the 7th. I thought these were still your innings.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's
my bad too. My bad too.
I went 3 pitches without calling the play. Here we go. All right, we're okay here, folks. Don't worry.
Anyway, this is James Smybert, though.
Still early in the season. Fouled back. No, the reason you just started naturally calling it is because I wasn't saying anything. Like, oh yeah, we're at the top of the 7th. I know what it was. Because you did 3 innings. I gave you the extra inning on the season opener,
yeah.
So it felt kind of like, anyways. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Smybert. So Smybert, Morello, and Abe. Morello on deck. Lupe 0 for 2 today. Encarnacion looking to keep the Jackfish quiet here on the 7th. And now he steps off. And Cyprian will run through the signs again.
Encarnacion had 2 innings in that opener against Toronto and struck out 3.
Called strike 3. 1 down here in the 7th. And now Encarnacion will face Gio Morello.
Center fielder number 11.
I'm told that
Gio Morello.
Miles Martinez left the game due to an injury. However, the Jackfish staff didn't provide any further detail.
Well, as you mentioned, he threw just the 1 warm-up pitch, it looked like, on the mound.
He had a few, but the first one went right to the screen. And that's not totally uncommon, but it's notable once an injury like that happens.
That one fell back to the screen by Morello. Well, Howitt certainly did a nice job. That was a picture-perfect 3-up, 3-down inning. Talk about the challenge of coming into the game on a cold night, having to warm up quickly. Howitt answered the bell. Morello 0 for 2 tonight. Morello and Hupe, the only 2 Jackfish starters who had not reached base tonight. Morello with a ground out. There are 2 ground outs in the game, and he'll bat here with 1 out on the 7th.
Morello still looking for his first hit of the season.
Lays down a bunt, down the line, a beauty. Odd scoops it up, throws, not in time. Nothing Adam Odd could have done there. He gloved it as cleanly as you could. Infield hit all the way.
Well, as I mentioned, that being the first hit of the season for Morello, and that's the kind of thing for a player of his caliber and the speed that he possesses to kind of just get himself out of a slump. He just needs something to kind of, boost your confidence a little bit. We'll see how that carries forward for him.
Jackfish facing 2 pitchers they'd never seen before tonight. Juan Mejia, the starter, and now Brady Encarnacion. 6 hits in the game for Welland, 2 runs. The only 2 in this game. 1 in the first, 1 in the third. Both teams have been quiet since. We'll see if Morello goes. Here he does. Pitches high, and it's out of the hand of Cyprian. Just couldn't get a grip on that ball. But what a jump by Morello. Don't think he would have got him anyway.
He was almost like levitating in his lead. Like he was kind of jumping towards second base, so to speak. And, Cyprian did receive that ball well, but it just came out of his glove as he was about to, transfer the ball to his hand.
Almost looked like they expected Morello to go with that ball up in the zone. And the pitch was in a good place for Cyprian if he could have handled it and tried to make a throw, but you don't really see the traditional pitch outs anymore like you used to, like way outside the strike zone. Oftentimes just a pitch up in the zone or whatever, or off the plate a little bit.
And again, wouldn't be shocked to see Morello go to try for third here. You saw Adam Odd the first couple pitches there, really trying to look at him and see where his lead was to know if he had to go cover the bag at any point. But again, with Abe up and the contact hitter that he is, you wouldn't be surprised to see a hit and run either.
Morello with 8 steals last year. No, first base open. Abe draws a walk. 2 on for the Jackfish. Here comes Jonah Weisner. And a chance to build a really comfortable lead here.
Double steal could be in play here as well for Welland.
The first walk that Encarnacion has offered up so far. It's his third inning of work. Gets the first pitch over for a strike.
You and I were talking about this during the commercial break, but how much this really does, even so early in the season, feel like one of those tight Barrie Welland playoff games.
A lot different from the 2024 championship playoff run the Baycats had, where they never trailed. They went 90-plus innings without trailing. They were always able to get the early lead and hang on to it, but it just seemed like, and they won that series against the Guelph Royals, didn't have to face Welland. But when the Baycats have to face Welland, it just seems like they give up the early lead. It's close. They get their opportunities, but just can't push those base runners across.
And, Barrie has done it before where they've been able to come back and get, a couple wins, whether it's in the ninth or in extra innings, but you can't rely on that all the time. Especially against a team with, like Welland, that we've seen the bullpen depth that they have was so key in the playoffs last year, and it's going to be dangerous again this year.
Called strike! And that will retire Weisner, and a big strikeout now, second of the inning for Encarnacion.
The right fielder, number 1, Justin Gideon.
Well, 2025 is all kind of a blur now at this point. We're into a brand new season, but I think I recall a game in Welland where the Baycats had a come-from-behind win.
There was definitely a walk-off one here.
Fastball for a strike.
There was one where Davy Mendez took the loss after he gave up a couple runs in the 9th inning, and then another one in the 10th, I believe.
So 2 out, 2 on. Justin Gideon at the plate, lifts that one high and foul.
But it looks to me right now that the shutdown option could be Pedro De Los Santos for Brian Estrie, who it looks like is throwing in the Jackfish bullpen.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Big pitch coming up here for Brady Encarnacion. He delivers, and it's high and away. 1-2. Gideon taking all the way. The dangerous Robert Mullen is on deck. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Strike 3! 3 strikeouts for Brady Encarnacion in the top of the 7th, and it keeps it 2-0 Jackfish. Stretch time here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. Barrie down by 2. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Hi, I'm Christy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Seventh inning of play is brought to you by Wild Wing Barrie. Go ahead, Baycats, get wild.
Could go for some wild wing right now. Hottest, spiciest wings they have. He's Julius Hern. I'm Ben Davy, trying to stay warm here at Athletic Kulture Stadium on a frosty Thursday night with a frost advisory in effect here in Barrie and across Simcoe County. Temperature has dropped big time. Hopefully this will be the coldest night of the year that we're announcing baseball here. Bottom of the seventh inning, Baycats down by 2. Got some work to do here against left-hander Dan Howitt.
I will say, weather permitting, because the forecast doesn't look great for Saturday, but, the afternoon baseball will definitely be welcome here in Barrie.
4 o'clock start against Kitchener. Hopefully we'll see you here. We'll have the broadcast on Rogers TV and Baycats TV. And we're on CBL TV as well, I understand. So there's some new apps that you can watch CBL broadcasts on here in 2026. So I haven't had a chance to check any of them out yet, but I definitely will.
Actually.
Called strike. Edgar Figueroa, Wandy Cyprian, Adam Odd up here for the Baycats, trailing by 2.
I have the CBL TV app on my phone, but I haven't watched the game on there. I usually just kind of default to YouTube. I'm just used to it.
Yeah. Ground ball up the middle. It's a base hit, and the Baycats get the leadoff man aboard here in the 7th. And up comes Wandy Cyprian. Well, a couple of Baycats traditions, familiar rituals here, back for 2026. Rob Daniels singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game in the 7th inning stretch. And Avery and Sandy Joy, as you saw on the screen there. So good to see them back again, doing their little jig behind home plate during heave away and getting the fans going. Just the familiar sights and sounds of baseball. It's so nice to have it all back, isn't it?
It's
especially the Baycats experience, which is unlike any other team in the league.
I've said this a few times, and when people ask me how the offseason was, I'm like, it was great, but this feels like home. This feels like this is the way it should be.
Really does. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cyprian.
If you're Josh Matlow and you're watching the way Edgar Figueroa has been playing tonight at the plate, and you really got to be impressed. 2 for 2 with a walk. He's reached base all 3 times.
A high pop-up. Off with the mask is Mullen. Does he have a chance? He does. He makes the catch. Probably about 4 feet from the screen. Cyprian retired, 1 down. Well, Figueroa has done such a nice job. In addition to this Baycat lineup in right field and sharing action with Clayton Keys so far, but boy, that's going to be a fierce battle for playing time this year between those two.
He's put some really great swings on the ball every time I've seen him. It's, by appearance, he doesn't look like a very menacing hitter, but, he's really got the fundamentals down.
Adam Odd, 2 fly balls to deep left field. Let's see what he can do here with a man on. Wonder if we'll see a hit and run here with one out. Does not go. Odd with a nice start here to this season. 364. That one's up high. He's got the count now, 3-0.
Well, Odd was surely the top performer in that season opening win against Toronto. A big home run and another RBI single to add on to that. That was really all Barrie needed, a 6-1 win.
Taking all the way, and it's right over the plate for a strike, 3-1. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Howitt with a look in, comes set. Figueroa, the runner at first. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Odd swinging right out of his shoes there, and the count now 3-2. The pitch had a nice little drop to it. Canisijo on deck, and Figueroa draws a throw.
Be really important here for Barrie if Odd can reach base. Canisijo yet to come up to the plate with base runners on tonight.
Odd has power, but a situation like this, you just want to think about keeping the inning going, and he lifts this one, slicing down the left field line, well foul, 3-2. Baycats still need to get on the board here. 5 hits in the game for Barrie, 6 for Welland, but it's the Jackfish on top, 2-0. Howitt with a payoff pitch. Down the line, fair ball! Into right field. Around second is Figueroa. He's into third easily. Odd slipped, but fortunately was able to get back up in plenty of time, so the Baycats have runners out on the corners with one out here in the 7th.
Well, Figueroa was off on the pitch. 3-2, and it looked like it was a hit and run in effect for Barrie. And we'll see a mound visit here from Brian Esri. That might be the evening for Danny Howitt.
Conference time on the mound. Let's see if Brian Esri has the hook in his hand as they chat with Howitt. Give him a moment here. We do have some activity in the Jackfish bullpen.
Yeah, it looks like Pedro De Los Santos throwing, but he's still in a hoodie.
Maybe a little earlier than they would like to bring him in. We'll see if Brian Esri gives Howitt a chance to convince him to stay in, and he does. So just a quick little chat on how they want to approach Canisijo, who has struck out 3 times in this game. And you got to know that Howitt is well aware of that.
Yet again, Barrie has 2 runners on. The tying run is on base. Gijo represents the go-ahead run, so arguably the most important plate appearance of the game for either team.
Oh, I think there's no question about that. 2 on for the Baycats, bottom of the 7th. First pitch to Ijo, swings and misses. Chased one outside.
Well, Ijo struck out all 3 times he's been up. Obviously eager to put something in play.
Takes one, and it's inside 101. When you're struggling at the plate as Ijo is, and you know that you're able to get things going, but it's just a matter of time. Just maybe needs that one big breakout moment to sort of put those struggles behind him. And the table is set for such an opportunity here.
Just needs to stay out of the double play.
High and foul. And now it's 1-2. One out in the inning here. Do you maybe send Adam on down to second, put 2 in scoring position? We'll see. Figueroa at third. Man holding Odd on at first. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And it's hit to right field. And the catch is made by Justin Gideon. That one was on a rope. He fires it right back in. The runner tags and scores. So Figueroa gets Barrie on the board. Give Canisijo an RBI on the flyout.
Shortstop number 11.
And a nice little catch by Justin Gideon, who kind of got frozen on that one, but the ball stayed right with him.
Yeah, impressive the way he was able to stick with that ball because it was really carrying. It looked like it might get over his head, but spun around a little bit, was able to stick with it and make a really nice over-the-shoulder catch. But again, the way he was positioned after that, no shot to get Figueroa.
Really good at bat for Canisijo after struggling through his first 3 plate appearances. Drives in the game's most important run for the Baycats. A good contact on that pitch too, so certainly something for him to build on. Brandon Hernandez is 1 for 3. A bit for Barrie too, just to get a run across home plate, before, facing De Los Santos if he comes in. We all know how good he is in these late innings. Now a 1-run game. Remember years ago, the Baycats had so many battles with the London majors that were like this. It was just tight, low scoring, great pitching. Every at bat mattered so much. It just kind of became a hallmark of that Barrie-London rivalry for so many years. It's kind of getting that way now with the Welland Jackfish in recent years too.
Well, these two teams obviously bitter rivals on the field, and you mentioned London and Pedro De Los Santos, part of those 2 London majors title-winning teams. So definitely a key part of kind of both sides of it against the Baycats.
Big pitch coming up here for Howard. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The left-hander delivers. And it's a base hit to center field. And the inning continues as Brandon Hernandez drives 1 to center. And Estery looking down to the bullpen, and here he comes. So Howitt will not get the chance to finish off this inning. A very dangerous situation now for the Jackfish with Noel McGarry-Doyle coming to the plate. And the Baycats with 2 on and 2 out, and Howitt will head off and turn this one over, leading 2-1 as McGarry-Doyle will bat when we return. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie. Ben Davy and Julius Hern at Athletic Kulture Stadium in Springwater. If you're just joining us, the Baycats are on the board, finally, here in the bottom of the 7th inning to make this a 2-1 Jackfish lead. And a pitcher they know very well from recent years, left-hander Pedro de los Santos.
Yeah, the veteran in this league and a huge part of why the Welland Jackfish won the title last year. He's had 2 innings so far this year. He's allowed 2 hits and a walk, but struck out 2 and hasn't allowed a run.
And he hits Noel McGarry Doyle. Bottom half of the leg on the first pitch. And now the bases are loaded. Not at all what De Los Santos wanted to do. He'll face the dangerous Ryan Rio now.
Designated hitter number 27, Ryan Rio.
Interested to see how Rio fares in this at-bat, because he came in against Howe. It was the first batter Howe faced and was really eager to try and get something off of a lefty, but another lefty-lefty matchup here with De Los Santos.
First pitch on the way. Rio swinging for the fences. The ball gets away, and the Baycats have tied the game. Adam Ott scores. It's 2-2. So a run scored on a swing and miss. There's something we don't see very often.
That's going to go down as a wild pitch against De Los Santos. A breaking ball that Rio was kind of sitting on early in this count. Got away from Robert Mullen and went Karen pretty far away to his right.
0-1 on the ground. The throw to first, it's in time. So the Baycats tie the game. Luther retires Rio on the ground out. And we have a whole new ball game here in Barrie. It's Welland 2, Barrie 2. We go to the 8th. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV Barrie.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. Silo Athletics, opening this July in South Barrie off Bryn, a premium indoor training facility for baseball and soccer, offering camps, team sessions, and high-energy birthday parties, built for athletes, teams, and families all year round.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
The juice is the best way to add zing to your Jersey Mike sub. Real red wine vinegar and olive oil blend. And I like a lot of juice. Pour it on. Go ahead. Go on. I can take it.
7 innings have brought us to this 2-2 tie. As we go to the 8th, Ben Davy, Julius Hern. What a game between the Jackfish and the Barrie Baycats, a rematch from the championship series last season. Robert Mullen will come to the plate to face Brady Encarnacion out for another inning of work.
Encarnacion did a great job getting out of a 2 base runner jam last inning. He struck out the side. All 3 strikeouts looking. He just froze James Smybert, Jonah Weisner, and Justin Gideon to get out of that inning.
Some really good pitching and some important pitching for the Baycats. This one popped up, and it's on the other side of the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mullen 1 for 3. Now getting that third out was so important to not have to face Mullen with base runners on. You know how dangerous he is at the plate. Certainly rather have him lead off the next inning than have to face him with runners on the previous inning. The right-hander deals just off the plate. Baycats now out hitting the Jackfish 7-6. Well, it was certainly an unconventional way to tie this game. On a wild pitch, swing and miss by Ryan Rio. Adam Odd coming in. I said to you off air, it's not often that I can recall announcing swing and a miss and the Baycats tie the game. But that's exactly what happened.
I really don't see it very often.
Swing and a miss there by Robert Mullen, 1 out in the 8th.
Again, you can tell just with Ryan Rio and all the experience that he has against Pedro de los Santos, and having seen him so many times, really eager to get something off of him. But de los Santos started off with a wicked breaking ball that ended up getting pretty far away from Robert Mullen.
Bryce Arnold to bat for the Jackfish, takes the first pitch. So 4 strikeouts for Encarnacion in this game, 3 coming into the game, so give him 7 so far here in 2026. An outstanding start for the first-year Baycat. Last year we saw Frank Garces set the single-season strikeout record for the Baycats. Perhaps Encarnacion gives that a little bit of a chase this year. Who knows? Probably not as a bullpen arm, but could happen.
The ratios are going to be crazy on his stats for sure.
No question. That one's fouled sharply down the third base line. Encarnacion with just 1 walk, and that was to Daike Abe. One out of the 8th. The pitch. Called strike. Baycat bullpen quiet right now.
Not sure what Bryce Arnold was looking for on that pitch there. Again, maybe it's something might be deceiving about Encarnacion's fastball.
Strike 3! Back-to-back Ks and 4 in a row for Brady Encarnacion. Oh, if he keeps this up, this crowd in Barrie is going to absolutely love him. And here comes Brendan Luther. Luther with a double and 2 strikeouts. First pitch strike.
Encarnacion was a highly touted prospect of the Miami Marlins. He got to AAA and seen as one of the best pitchers in their organization for some time.
And Brady Encarnacion now with a chance to get 6 strikeouts in 2 innings of relief. Can't recall the last time that's happened. It's been a while. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Luther with 2 strikeouts already tonight. Can he do it? High fly ball, center field, long run for Ejo, and it's the left fielder making the catch. Noel McGarry Doyle. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Jackfish in the 8th, and now Barrie will try to get their first lead of the night. A 2-2 tie between the Jackfish and the Baycats.
Join Team BKGC. Inside 17,000 square feet of dedicated gymnastic space, athletes of every age and level come together. Whether you're just starting out or building advanced skills, there's a place for you here. BKGC, building confidence, community, and champions since 1965. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Eighth inning of play brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
We have a tie game between the Baycats and the Jackfish. If you're just joining us, boy, you tuned in at a good time here. You're going to see a thrilling finish either way. A rematch between these 2025 IBL championship rivals, taking that rival into a new era here in the Canadian Baseball League. Baycats will send Francisco Hernandez, Nolan Macabrota, and Edgar Figueroa to the plate here in the eighth. Pedro de los Santos with a pitch. That hit him? No, it didn't. And they check it first to see if he went, and they say he did. I mean, it looked like Hernandez was just trying to get out of the way of it. That's, I think, what Josh Matlow's saying.
But again, like he did come around with his bat, so that's the argument for the strike call, and that's why there's the appeal down to first base.
If you put your bat through the strike zone, whether you're getting out of the way of the pitch or not, it's a strike, and that was the call by home plate umpire Adam DeCare, and they appealed with Ryan Hern to see if he went on the check swing.
It's just like if a ball goes over your head, but if it hits your bat, you know, it's still a live ball, foul or fair.
We've seen that happen. 2 balls and a strike. De Los Santos deals. High fly ball, right center field. And sprinting over and making the catch is Gio Morello. Had a long way to go. Makes that catch in front of Justin Gideon. 1 away. Here comes Nolan Macabrota.
Nolan Macabrota.
Macabrota tonight reached on an error, strikeout, and a flyout. Takes the first pitch for a strike.
So it did hit him, right?
1 out in the inning.
It did hit him because he swung. It's a strike.
So the official ruling on that pitch to Hernandez, it did hit him, but he swung.
So he stays in the box.
Pitch is high and away. Good take by Macabrota. Some good pitching by De Los Santos here, coming on in relief of Dan Howitt.
Then you got to imagine on that pitch, then Matlow's argument was that the hit was before the swing.
I guess that's a factor too, now that you mention it. De Los Santos looks in. Rocks into the full windup. 2-1 on the ground to second. Loved by Wisner to first. 2 quick outs. Some good pitching here by Pedro de los Santos in the 8th. Here comes Edgar Figueroa.
Could have been a tough play there for Wisner. It was a high hop, and he had to range over quite a bit and go across his body to make the throw from deep second base. But this is the guy that the Baycats have kind of leaned on all night. Edgar Figueroa has had a standout performance.
Figueroa has reached base all 3 times. First pitch strike. Once we get a little closer to all-star balloting, I wonder if the Jackfish fans will start up a Vote for Pedro campaign.
Oh, interesting.
Fans of the cult classic Napoleon Dynamite will have understood that reference. Called strike. We should try to see how many movie references we can get into our broadcast this year.
Hey, well, the way that they've been able to market and merchandise, I don't imagine it would be difficult to make that happen for them.
Ryan Harrison, if you're listening, he's always looking for a creative marketing idea. Marketing guru in Welland. Boy, they've done some really fun and neat stuff over the years. 1 ball, 2 strikes. De Los Santos. Here's the pitch. Fouled off at home plate.
Figueroa, he knows that was his pitch. As he stepped out of the box there, seemed a little bit distraught, upset with himself.
Jackfish and Baycats tied at 2. We're in the 8th. Figueroa down in the count, 1-2. And it's down the line. Fair ball! To the corner it goes. Abe up with it. And cruising into second with a double is Edgar Figueroa to keep the inning alive. How huge was that? How huge will that be? Wandy Cyprian will come to the plate. We think.
Well, Cyprian was kind of hovering around the on-deck circle, but it looks like he will get his chance to potentially drive in a go-ahead run. Oh, this will be Clayton Keys.
Cyprian was 0 for 3 tonight with a pair of strikeouts.
Pitch hitting for the Baycats, number 23, Clayton Keys.
So a last-minute pinch hit here. Looked like Josh Matla wanted to keep Cyprian in the game if Figueroa got out, and that wasn't the case. So now a pinch hitting opportunity as Keys comes in. The runner goes, and they're going to send him back. I think home plate umpire Adam DeCare says time was called. De Los Santos was looking down, had no awareness at all of Figueroa just trotting down to third.
Well, obviously, Figueroa was under the impression that it was live play.
I think Josh Matlow's asking who called time.
Didn't seem to me that it was time being called, as Clayton Keys was already in the batter's box. Seemed like he was ready to go.
Nobody reacted. De Los Santos had the ball. He really didn't seem to be paying any attention to the runner behind him. Well, the question was time called on the field and by who? And Adam DeCare sending the runner back, saying the ball was not live.
We'll see how much that could play a factor, especially with 2 outs here.
1-0 pitch, blown away. De Los Santos kicks and delivers on the ground, past the pitcher. A running throw by Brendan Luther in plenty of time. So the Baycats strand a runner. And we have played 8 innings. We are tied at 2 as the Jackfish come to bat in the 9th. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
Silo Athletics, opening this July in South Barrie off Bryn, a premium indoor training facility for baseball and soccer, offering camps, team sessions, and high-energy birthday parties, built for athletes, teams, and families all year round. Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
See you
What makes Jersey Mike's a sub above? Is it the premium meats and cheeses sliced on the spot and piled high on their in-store baked bread? Or could it be their hot, freshly grilled subs? How about all of the above? Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
The ninth inning is brought to you by
Welland Jackfish and Barrie Baycats are tied 2-2 in the ninth inning. Bottom third of the order is coming up for Welland. Couple changes for the Baycats, including a new pitcher.
Yeah, Oscar Moretta will get the ball here in the top of the ninth inning in a tie game. He's had one inning so far. That was in the season opener against Toronto. It didn't allow an earned run. Struck out one, walked one in a scoreless inning. And a high leverage situation. The bottom of the order has struggled for the most part in this game for Welland. But you never know with a new arm.
First pitch is outside from Moretta. 22-year-old Dominican, 3 seasons in the Baltimore Orioles organization, 3 years of Dominican Summer League. Proven bullpen production. We'll see what he can do here as a Barrie Baycat.
Christian Puyol-Genis are also in behind the plate now after Wandy Cyprian was pinch hit for by Clayton Keys. So second defensive replacement game for Puyol-Genis.
Fastball for a strike, 1-1. Pitch from Moretta, swing and a miss, 1-2.
Just watching the form of Moretta as he pitches, it's just so satisfying to watch.
1 strikeout, 1 walk in his 1 inning of work. Third pitcher of the night for the Baycats. Mejia, Encarnacion, and now Moretta. 3-2 pitch, ball 4. And that'll fire up the Jackfish dugout as they're looking to get back on top here after squandering a 2-0 lead. A lead they built early through the first 3 innings, and Barrie with 2 runs in the 7th to tie this up.
At bat, the designated hitter.
Moretta really lost Ethan Mann in that plate appearance there. It was just a bit wild with his fastball there. Couldn't bring it back inside after getting ahead in the count.
James Smybert to the plate for the second time. 382 last season. That one, he squared the bunt, hit him on the hand. And out comes manager Josh Matlow. Sounded like it hit the bat to me, but
it's the argument of which one happened first.
Well, it's quite possible it hit his bat and his hand.
Because again, you rarely ever see the ball ricochet off of a batter that high off the screen. And we're gonna have a pinch runner here, I think, also for Smybert.
So it'll go down as a hit batter. Smybert. Well, he reacted quickly, and I don't doubt that it hit part of his hand, but here comes Gio Morello.
Logan Grant now in as a pinch runner for Smybert.
I think if it hit just his hand, it wouldn't have gone back to the screen the way it did.
So you could argue that, it went off his hand first and then kind of rode up his bat potentially.
Gio Morello to bat. I don't think there's really any way a home plate umpire can figure that out. I mean, you can go by the sound and tell whether, it hit the hand or the bat, but how do you know which part it hit first?
Of course, it's such
and if it's simultaneous, then what?
It's such a fast thing, like a split second, right? So, umpire has to make the closest judgment call he can in that scenario.
2 on, nobody out. And an early jam here for Moretta. First pitch, called a strike.
Yeah, these Baycats infielders expecting a bunt. You see how far in Nolan Macabrota was there at first base. Adam Odd, with the runner on second base, has to stay a little bit closer to third.
Morello squared to bunt, crouched, but it was called a strike by Adam DeCare. Here's the pitch, squares to bunt again, drops it down to third. Odd to first. They get the outs. Odd thought about making a play at third. Wisely decided to get the sure out anyways.
Well, that turnaround to look back at third base nearly cost him. Gio Morello thinking that he was safe, but again, heads up on Francisco Hernandez to cover first base there, so they'll go down as 5-4.
Everybody was exactly where they should be in a play like that. And as you mentioned, having Hernandez at third gave Odd that option, but you got to think quick. Odd gave himself just enough time to get Morello, so now 2 in scoring position, 1 out. Abe swings and fouls it off, one of the best contact hitters in this lineup for the Jackfish. Try to put a ball in play here and get Welland back the lead.
Seems like the perfect guy in this scenario with the Baycats infield playing in. All you need is a little bloop to get the go-ahead run across the plate.
Even just a ground ball here a fielder's choice can get you the lead. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Strikeout would definitely be nice here for Moretta. Let's see how carefully he pitches him here. 2 strikes. Will he come right at him or try to get him to chase? Here comes the crowd. Moretta is ready. Runners lead. 0-2. Called strike 3! Abe pleads his case as he heads back to the Jackfish dugout, and there are 2 away.
That is a huge strikeout for Oscar Moretta on 3 pitches, no less, against a great contact hitter. It allows the Baycats defense to relax a little bit. Now with 2 outs, they can go to first base instead of cutting a runner down at home plate.
Well, with 1 out and runners at second and third, there's really only 3 things you can hope for. A strikeout, a pop-up, or a line drive right at somebody. And Moretta got the strikeout. That takes a lot of pressure off the Baycats here now. 2 away. Here's Wisner.
Got to imagine if it was a little further down the lineup, like with a guy on deck like Justin Gideon or even Robert Mullen, if either 2 of those guys were at the plate, you imagine maybe you get the intentional walk to load the bases, but maybe a bit fortunate for Barrie that it was a different part of the lineup.
You pitch around Wisner and you'll have to face Gideon, so I don't think that's going to be the plan here. Well, that pitch missed by a good margin. 2-0 now.
I'm just saying in this scenario with 1 out that Abe was in, had it had been Gideon or Mullen,
right,
that could have been the play.
2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Just missed. A little closer, but it didn't get the plate, and now 3-0 count. And Wisner now will look for something really good to hit as Moretta needs to find the plate here, or he'll have to face Justin Gideon with the bases loaded.
Conversation here between Wisner and home plate umpire Adam DeCare.
Well, I'm sure Wisner's not upset with anything with 3-0 count here, but interesting conversation, a brief one. Moretta needs a strike here. 3-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Got it. 3-1. Wisner taking all the way.
You can tell Moretta didn't, kind of go back and for a lot of velocity on that one, a bit more of an abbreviated delivery as he came through. Just need to get something over.
Weisner might get the green light here on the 3-1. Let's see. Here's the pitch. He takes it. It's a called strike. Another one that Weisner maybe thought could have been up in the zone.
You can tell he was almost about to toss his bat over.
And it's Bully Argenisar now talking to the umpire. After getting a favorable call. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch of the game right here. Top of the 9th. Jackfish, Baycats tied at 2. The pitch fouled over the dugout. Left side, and we'll do it again.
That ball was going to be inside on Weisner. Count Moretta a bit lucky that Weisner decided to offer it that one. Continue this half inning.
A game that has all the feels of a championship finale. The Jackfish and the Baycats in the 9th. Here's the pitch. Fouled again. Welland built a 2-0 lead after 3 innings. Baycats getting 2 in the bottom of the 7th. Top of the 9th here. 2 away. Moretta looking for the 3rd out to put the Baycats at the plate and a chance for a walk-off win here tonight. Moretta to Weisner. Popped up. Should be playable. Left side. Hernandez and Odd. It's Odd making the catch. And that'll do it. And the Jackfish Strand runners in the 9th. Barrie coming to bat with a chance to walk it off. Tied at 2 here at Athletic Kulture Stadium.
Join Team BKGC. Inside 17,000 square feet of dedicated gymnastic space, athletes of every age and level come together. Whether you're just starting out or building advanced skills, there's a place for you here. BKGC, building confidence, community, and champions since 1965. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
See you desire.
Number 26, Adam Hawes.
9th inning, it's brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
And here we go. Don't go anywhere, folks. The Baycats looking for their first walk-off win of 2026. Ben Davy and Julius Hern here. Hopeful to bring it to you with Adam Odd coming to bat to lead off the bottom of the 9th inning. 2-2 tie, Jackfish and Baycats. First pitch from Pedro de los Santos. Swing and a miss. Odd was trying to send these fans home right here, right now. He's done it before. Who can forget Adam Odd's walk-off home run 2 years ago against the Guelph Royals? Odd tonight is 1 for 3, a couple fly balls, singled and scored. Suddenly it feels a little less cold here at the ballpark, doesn't it? Right? A close score in the bottom of the 9th. Gets the adrenaline going. Pedro deals. Swing and a miss by Odd. He just lunged at that. Couldn't connect. Not a great chase by Odd. One down. Kenise Ejo now to bat. So Ejo tonight with 3 strikeouts, but he drove in an important run in the 7th. And he'll try to build on that here in the 9th.
Yeah, it's tough when you turn the top of the order and there's nobody out. Or there's nobody on, pardon me.
Checked his swing. Nope. Strike one.
But kudos to Ejo for, the only time that he's batted with runners on, he made it count with that sacrifice fly. And a really tough at bat.
Yeah, when you're struggling early, you want to build on those little small positives, small victories, and that was a big at bat. Can't underscore it enough. Call strike, 0-2. Brandon Hernandez on deck. And now time is called. Boy, if this is what we can expect from Welland and Barrie here in 2026, what a season series this is going to be between these teams. Never mind playoffs. These teams finished 1-2 in the standings last year and faced each other in the IBL Championship Series. 0-2 from De Los Santos, up high and outside. 1-2.
Well, it was Pedro De Los Santos here. You could argue that he deserved the playoff MVP last year. Yeah, he had the argument. You could have given it to any one of 3 Jackfish players. Robert Mullen ended up earning the award, but the way Pedro De Los Santos pitched last year was definitely worthy. Really shut down this Barrie lineup across the entire series. I think he appeared in every game in that that IBL Finals.
Just as lethal in the regular season as well. 6 outings, did not allow an earned run. 7 strikeouts, 7 walks. 2-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. The throw, in time. Back-to-back strikeouts for Pedro De Los Santos. 4 strikeouts for Ejo tonight. Here's Brandon Hernandez.
Shortstop number 11, Brandon Hernandez.
It looks like Carlos Sano is just about to get warm in that Barrie bullpen. Looks like he'll be the next man up for Josh Matlow on the mound.
2-2 tie, we're in the 9th. Here's the pitch from De Los Santos, inside. I want to welcome those of you who have been watching Kitchener-London tonight. That game ended up as a 7-4 Panthers victory. Jack Couch Park, the only other game on this Thursday night on the CBL schedule. Here's the pitch, and that's inside. Baycats get the Panthers here on Saturday afternoon. 4 o'clock game. Should be a good crowd for that. 3-0 on the way, and it's a strike. Showing bunt was Hernandez on the 3-0 pitch, trying to drag one down.
Just trying to get something going to continue this half inning for Barrie, put someone on.
De Los Santos delivers. Foul off. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in the 9th. De Los Santos will rock into the full windup here. And the payoff pitch. Ball 4. Close pitch. De Los Santos does not get the call. Hernandez is aboard with a 2-out walk, and here's Noel McGarry Doyle. Ryan Rio on deck. And a sprint out to the mound. Manager Brian Essery.
We had Davy Mendez warming up in that Jackfish bullpen. This could be the kind of case where we saw with Danny Howitt, where Essery kind of comes out for, one quick mound visit to check on his reliever and, kind of give the sign that, the end is near.
Kind of feels like Essery wants to save Mendez for extra innings if he can, and a rather extensive conversation here on the mound as Essery gives instructions. De Los Santos will try to finish off this bottom of the ninth. The Baycats trying to walk it off.
Go ahead run on base, and Gary Doyle had an extra base hit earlier on this game, and another such hit could potentially end this game.
Any chance you send Brandon Hernandez here?
Not sure. Not sure you want to risk it in this scenario, especially with the lefty on the mound.
Ethan Mann holding him on. 1-0 the count. Maybe a hit and run. Lefty-lefty matchup. De Los Santos versus McGarry Doyle, and Hernandez draws a throw. The first of this at bat. You can't really boo the pickoff attempts anymore, can you? Because you only get 2 of them, so that sort of takes the fun out of it.
I know, right?
1-0 pitch. That misses away, 2-0.
Well, you can tell Hernandez at first base, he's obviously much more cautious after that pickoff attempt. You can see it. De Los Santos began his delivery, kind of leaned back towards first base. Not uncommon with the lefty on the mound.
I think in a situation like this, the secondary lead is so important, especially if McGarry Doyle can put one in the gap. You're trying to think about getting that game-winning run, or just at least get to third maybe on a base hit, set it up for Ryan Rio. Hernandez has speed. Hasn't really taken a big lead yet. 2 balls and a strike. De Los Santos steals on the ground down the line. Through into left field. Rounding second is Hernandez. He's into third. And a double for Noel McGarry Doyle. The winning run is 90 feet away.
That ball just died in the left field grass after it got past Bryce Arnold. And with Daiki Abe kind of playing no doubles depth out in left field, he had to go a long way to come in and get that ball, which allowed McGarry Doyle to go into second and Hernandez to take third. You don't often see a ball to hit to left field where the runner goes first to third, but Hernandez doing a nice job with heads-up base running.
And even McGarry Doyle getting to second base to take away a force situation. Important here, even though that runner at second doesn't mean anything. Here's Ryan Rio. 2 out in the inning. First pitch. It's up high. They appeal. He did not go. Brandon Hernandez, the only base runner that matters now. He's 90 feet away. Here's the pitch from De Los Santos. It's a strike. 1-1. If you want to put Ryan Rio on, you'll have to face Francisco Hernandez with the bases loaded. Here's the pitch. That misses away. 2-1.
Usually Ryan Rio, you can tell he's in these kind of situations, he just wants to put something in play, but you can tell he's being a little bit more patient this time around, looking for his pitch.
2-1 pitch. High fly ball. Deep left field. And in front of the fence, making the catch, is Daiki Abe. Ryan Rio gave it a ride. It just came up short. And we are in for bonus baseball here tonight at Athletic Kulture Stadium. Tied at 2s. To the 10th we go. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
Silo Athletics, opening this July in South Barrie off Bryn, a premium indoor training facility for baseball and soccer, offering camps, team sessions, and high-energy birthday parties, built for athletes, teams, and families all year round.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
The juice is the best way to add zing to your Jersey Mike sub. Real red wine vinegar and olive oil blend. And I like a lot of juice. Pour it on. Go ahead. Go on. I can take it.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the Canadian Baseball League and the Barrie Baycats Baseball Club. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or retransmission in any form is strictly prohibited.
Wow, and I give you a ton of credit for making that edit on the fly there. Canadian Baseball League. I'm going to have to rewrite the script on our disclaimer here. Boy, you didn't miss a beat on that. Here we go. Carlos Sano into pitch for the Baycats. Justin Gideon to lead it off for the Jackfish. 2-2 tie. First extra innings game of the year for Barrie, for either of these teams. First close score for the Jackfish this season.
And again, remember, Jonah Weisner at second base to start the inning in extras.
Swing and a miss by Gideon.
Biggest thing is keep an eye on it. Make sure you try to stay level if you can. I know it's tougher. Because you're kind of canted.
Runner on second base, guys.
Carlos Sano's 1.03 ERA, lowest in the league last year. 7 saves, which tied him for third in the league.
Well, considering he also put up 5 wins, too, and this being one of those kind of situations where if he's able to hold Welland down and Barrie can come out with a win, he would be the winning pitcher.
For a guy who's used primarily in the closer role to come away with 5 wins, that's an impressive accomplishment. Here's the pitch. Low and inside.
Well, Josh Matlow not afraid to put him in a tie game as he has tonight. And Sano not really your average closer in the sense that he can go multiple innings in an outing. You know, in the Winter League in Nicaragua, he's primarily a starter. So he comes here and it's a very different role for him, but one that he's very much accustomed to here in Barrie.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Inside again.
This being exactly the part of the lineup Welland wants up in this situation. Runner in scoring position, you got Gideon and then Mullen. They're basically the heart of your order, and then after that, Bryce Arnold. So, 3, 4, 5 is the perfect spot right now for Welland, but the question is, can they get it done?
Little cat and mouse with Brandon Hernandez behind the runner. Weisner at second as he tries to keep him honest. Here's the pitch. And a broken bat to right field and a running. No, he dropped it. So the runner at second, Weisner held up, thinking that might be a catch. It dropped in and out of the glove.
A tough break there for Edgar Figueroa, and looked like such a routine play. Again, looked like a broken bat for Justin Gideon, but even on a broken bat, he got a lot of that ball.
Weisner couldn't stray too far from second in case Figueroa made that catch, but he was unable to hang on. You know, when you think about it, I mean, unfortunately, he couldn't get the first out of the inning, but not that costly. First base open anyways now with this bonus runner at second, right? So it sets up the force. A double play situation here. Personally, I've never liked the whole concept of giving a team a scoring opportunity to lead off the top half of an extra inning, but it is what it is. And you do have the option to put that runner on first, so. Wisner stays put, Gideon at first.
What bothers me about the rule is that a team can really put together a long inning, score one run, but then the very next half inning, the home team can end the game on one pitch, a 2-run home run.
Well, that's why it's really important to pile on the runs if you can in extra innings for that very reason.
Or in the probably never before seen situation, if let's say a pitcher has a perfect game going into extra innings, they stay in the 10th, and they give up a bunt and a sacrifice fly. They've allowed a run, but not allowed a runner on base.
Let's pray that never happens.
Yeah.
One day it will, but that would be an unusual situation. Certainly could happen one day. 1 ball, 1 strike. Time called now.
That's the second time we've seen such a late time call.
That was a very late request from Robert Mullen and a generous granting of time by home plate umpire Adam DeCare. Wisner dancing around the bag at second, trying to distract Carlos Sano, trying to draw Hernandez over to maybe open up a little hole in that left side of the infield for Mullen, the right-hander.
A large lead for Gideon at first as well. Keep an eye on that.
Just outside.
Right-hander at the plate has been Francisco Hernandez, the second baseman, kind of taking a couple of steps in, holding the runner. In this situation, the count is 2-1. Carlos Sano would love something on the ground here. Runners lead. 2-1 pitch on the way from Carlos Sano. Takes his time. Now he deals, and it's up the middle into center field. Rounding third is Wisner. Ejo the throw. It's cut off. And the Jackfish are back on top 3-2. Second RBI single for Robert Mullen in this game. Wisner scores. To third is Gideon. Still nobody out.
Just perfect contact right up the middle for Robert Mullen. Again, Justin Gideon heads up, ball in the center field, and he goes first to third. Ejo, came up throwing, but just not enough on it to have a chance.
So here's a situation where exactly what you were referring to earlier. You want to drive in that second run so that the Baycats can't win it with one swing of the bat in the bottom half of the inning. 3-2 Welland in the 10th. First pitch from Carlos Sano is a called strike on the outside corner. Carlos Sano with those pant legs right down to the shoe tops this evening. Now, if you watched the IBL Championship Series last year, and in particular the games in Welland, Sano had those pant legs up high, well above the knee, probably about halfway up the thigh, basically shorts.
Yeah, I think that's specific to his road uniform. You see that a lot with the gray pants. I think that might be specific to the road games for him.
And that one check swing, a little glancer, fair ball. Sano takes a look, makes the out at first. The runner at first advanced. So they get an out. Sano just wanted to make sure that Gideon wasn't trying to score on that, and he didn't. Mullen to second, Gideon to third. One out in the inning, and here comes Brendan Luther.
I had the thought that maybe Arnold would try to bunt there, and I'm not sure he necessarily tried to bunt, but what he did was essentially just that. He moves Mullen up to second base, and keep them out of the double play with 2 in scoring position.
So our viewers in Welland certainly remember Carlos Sano with the short shorts in the IBL Championship Series. They were having some fun with him when he was on the mound, pretty much any time before he threw a pitch. Crowd quiet here at Athletic Culture Stadium. First pitch is up high.
I remember how loud the Who's Got Short Shorts chants were in Game 1, which was a Welland Jackfish walk-off win against Sano.
The funny thing is, I'm assuming whoever came up with the idea of that chant, it was an old television commercial for Nair, ladies' razor blades. The song, Who Wears Short Shorts? We Wear Short Shorts. I mean, that, you're going back at least 30 or 40 years with that television commercial. But it caught on quick.
Love the enthusiasm, though. It's very much welcome, especially in those high-intensity moments like that.
It was fun, and they were trying to get under his skin, and it appeared at times they did. 1-1 pitch. A bunt to the mound. Sano can't glove it cleanly. The run scores. Welland up 4-2.
First baseman number 15.
Here's Ethan Mann now. So the Jackfish building a comfortable lead now. Runners still first and third, 1 out.
They're going to give an error to Sano on that play, not a single for Luther. But again, a really smart idea with a quick runner like Gideon at third base, basically halfway down the line when contact was made. Really no shot, even if Sano was going to be able to glove it cleanly with Gideon diving in.
If he had have gloved it cleanly, I wonder what his play would have been. It looked like maybe he was thinking about a little shovel pass to home to try to get the runner.
Looked like he was going to glove it to home.
That would have been the option, or glove it and make the transfer and try to make the throw to first. I'm not sure he would have had that play either. Regardless, it's a 2-run 10th for the Jackfish. 4-2. Man at the plate. Infield double play depth here. Pitch to Man. In tight.
Well, at least the positive here for Barrie is you have a double play in order should there be a ground ball.
One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. A hush falls over the ballpark as Sano deals. The 1-1 is up high and in. They appeal at first and they say he swung. Ryan Hern making the call. 1-2.
And no doubt about that one. I think Man knew it too as he was taking a couple steps out of the batter's box.
One ball, 2 strikes. Sano. Big pitch coming up here. Checks the runner. And now the throw over. And back head first. Brendan Luther.
Got to be careful there with Mullen. He was ready for that ball to potentially get by Macabroda.
Ethan Mann. 2 walks, 2 flyouts. Biggest at bat of the game for him here. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Throw to first. And a swipe tag, not back in time. Quick throw down from Christian Puyol's Genesar. Good thinking. Man goes down swinging. Here's James Smybert. Strike him out pickoff would have been quite a way to end this 10th, wouldn't it?
Number 10, Logan Grant.
This is Logan Grant. He came in for Smybert as a pinch runner earlier after he was hit by a pitch.
So Grant's first at bat. DH spot here for Brian Essery. Takes the first pitch. It's a called strike.
First time Grant's had a plate appearance this season.
Sano with a long look in. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Baycats will send Francisco Hernandez to the plate to lead off the bottom of the 10th. And we have a little history on that for you, perhaps, which will bring you after the commercial break here. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sano deals up high. Runners on the corners. Mullen at third, Luther at first. 2 down in the inning, 1-2 pitch on the way from Carlos Sano. Here it comes. Strike 3! Grant goes down looking. Sano walks off the mound, but it's the Jackfish scratching out 2 runs to make this a 4-2 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 10th inning. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. Silo Athletics, opening this July in South Barrie off Bryn, a premium indoor training facility for baseball and soccer, offering camps, team sessions, and high-energy birthday parties, built for athletes, teams, and families all year round.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
The juice is the best way to add zing to your Jersey Mike sub. Real red wine vinegar and olive oil blend. And I like a lot of juice. Pour it on. Go ahead. Go on. I can take it.
Bottom of the 10th inning, Ben Davy, Julius, Hern, and a smattering of fans left on this Thursday night, very chilly Thursday night. These are the true baseball fans hanging in here for this one. A 4-2 Jackfish lead. Baycats will look to keep this game going. Francisco Hernandez will lead it off. Brendan Daly on a pinch run at second for Ryan Rio. And Francisco Hernandez with an at-bat in the IBL Championship Series last year that Baycat fans will remember for a long time.
Yeah, Game 2 against Davy Mendez to lead off the 10th. He hit a walk-off home run on the first pitch he saw.
Best he could do here would be a game-tying home run. They would certainly settle for that.
Yeah, and very much different in the playoffs with no runner in scoring position to start the inning.
Yeah, that was a tie game. Baycats down by a pair here. 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. That's exactly what Hernandez was trying to do.
2 very different approaches in the first couple pitches of this at-bat against De Los Santos.
Pedro De Los Santos out for another inning of work, and now time is called. As Hernandez wants a moment. Nine hits for the Baycats tonight, 7 for the Jackfish, but Welland on top 4-2. Here's the pitch. Off the inside of the bat, over second, and it drops for a base hit. They're going to hold the runner at third, wisely so, as that ball didn't get too far.
First baseman number 20, Nolan Macabrota.
Well, what do you know? Here's a walk-off opportunity for Nolan Macabrota, down by 2 runs. How weird does that feel? You come into the bottom of the half inning, down by 2, little bloop single.
He's been a walk-off hero before, not necessarily with a home run, but he has that power. 1 home run so far this year in the season opener.
If he clears the fences here, they win the game. Takes the first pitch, it's a strike. And the Baycats dugout livid. They were sure that was down in the zone.
Yeah, that's the sentiment from both Macabrota and the Baycats dugout. That pitch appearing very low to Macabrota.
Oh, don't play that one. Do not play that one. He's been telling me to play it all game long. No. Yeah, he would.
They appeal and he did not go. It's been a generous strike zone tonight, but I think it's been consistent both ways. Lefty-lefty matchup here in a 1-1 count. Baycats trail by 2. Tying run at first. Called strike. The throw down to second, and a leaping grab by Luther to make sure that one didn't get by.
Hernandez with some heads-up base running there. I think he kind of caught Robert Mullen off guard a little bit. Took a great secondary lead. And then started running after Mullen had collected the ball. So him not getting a great jump on a throw to second base.
Great opportunity for Macabrota here. He can tie the game probably with a base hit to right. He can end the game if he can clear the fences with one. Kind of appears De Los Santos might be pitching him carefully now. 2-2 the count.
Well, anything on the inner half, Macabrota is going to pounce on it. So I think De Los Santos trying to push him further outside.
First base open now. 3-2. Maybe you just put him on. I mean, you wouldn't ordinarily put the winning run on base, but it would set up the double play. You'd have to face Edgar Figueroa. 3-2. Let's see if he gives him anything here. Just missed. Ball 4. Base is loaded.
Very close take there for Macabrota, but it pays off for him. And what a story it would be here for Edgar Figueroa. Reached base each time he's come up tonight, including once against De Los Santos. That was an 8th inning double.
Daly, Hernandez, Macabrota all on base for Edgar Figueroa. They trail by 2. First pitch called strike. Do you trade a run for a double play here if you're the Jackfish? I think you do.
I think you absolutely do.
Inside, 1-1.
Start walking him in.
They've gotten out of a lot of jams in this ball game, including one in the 9th inning with 2 in scoring position.
Can't pitch Figueroa too carefully here. There's nowhere to put him. And there's a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One and 2. De Los Santos deals. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. A big first out for Pedro De Los Santos, and now a ground ball could end the game. First time Edgar Figueroa has been retired. How huge was that?
That's huge for Welland, considering the track record in this game for Figueroa, especially avoiding the extra base hit, but base is still loaded. First plate appearance of the year for Christian Puyol-Genesar.
Bases loaded, nobody out, and you get the toughest out in the lineup tonight. That's veteran pitching, to be able to do that as calmly as De Los Santos did. First pitch, or the second pitch, is inside, 101. Juan D. Ciprian started this game. Baycats trail by 2. Tying run at second, winning run at first. 101 pitch on the way from Pedro de los Santos. Here it comes. On the ground. Off his glove, he drops it, and a run scores! What could have been a game-ending double play results in an E1. The bases remain loaded. It is a 4-3 Jackfish lead.
Baseman number 26, Adam Odd.
Tough situation there for De Los Santos, and like you said, Ben, could have ended the game. Just kind of the ideal play. Just let the defense take care of it, but De Los Santos bobbling it. And at this point, you know, even a single here by Adam Odd could end this game.
Boy, that looked like a 1-6-3 game-ending double play, or could have at least gone to home. Maybe there were too many options rolling around De Los Santos' mind. I'm not sure why he was not able to glove that cleanly. And he just bobbled it, and it was too late by the time he could pick it up. The bases remain loaded. The Baycats with 1 here in the bottom of the 10th. They need 1 more to try to keep this game going. 1 out in the inning. Again, the double play is a possibility to end this game. First pitch, and a high fly ball to center field. Going back is Morello. He makes the catch. Runner tags. And we have a tie game again here in Barrie. Adam Odd with the most clutch fly out you could possibly ask for. Ties this game at 4.
Center fielder number 7, Kenny Ijo.
And now 2 out for Barrie. The winning run now 90 feet away. But yet again, a ground ball here from Ijo, who struggled all night. Again, he has that sacrifice fly to his credit, but he struck out 4 times. Just looking for redemption here to end this game.
So the number 9 hitter, Adam Odd, delivers. The moment of the game so far, and now Kenny Ijo will try to win it with a runner at third. On the ground. To short. He bobbles it! And the Baycats win as Macabroda scores. It's a 5-4 Barrie win in 10 innings.
What redemption there for Kenny Ijo. I think it was the perfect batted ball there, no matter what. Even if Brendan Luther was going to be able to come up with that ball, it would have been a tough play with Ijo's speed. Looks like that'll go down as a game-ending single for Kenny Ijo, but the comeback resilience of this Baycats team, the way they were able to string some hits together late in this game, put together a 2 spot in the 7th, another tying effort before the game-winning run comes across in the 10th.
So the Baycats win on a Jackfish defensive meltdown in the bottom of the 10th inning. Welland taking a 4-2 lead into the bottom of the inning. The Baycats with 3. Kenny Ijo bringing home Nolan Macabroda. And Barrie wins this one tonight in dramatic form. Our final from Athletic Kulture Stadium, Baycats 5, Welland 4 in the first matchup of 2026 between the Jackfish and the Baycats. We're back on Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock against the Kitchener Panthers. We hope to see you here at the ballpark. If not, Julius and I will have the call here for you, as always, on Rogers TV and Baycats TV in Barrie. Baycats win from Athletic Kulture Stadium. I'm Ben Davy, along with Julius Hern. Good night, everybody.